It's week one of the NFL season. Washington versus New York this Sunday afternoon from Northwest Stadium. So, just like we did last year, we previewed training camp, we previewed the season, and every Tuesday, me and NFL insider Lake Lewis Jr., friend of the show, friend in real life, my big brother, comes on the show and we give you a Victory Tuesday or a Misery Tuesday. We're going to check in and get y'all ready for week one of the NFL season. So without further ado, let's pause. NFL Insider, my guy, Mr. Lake Lewis Jr. It is Tuesday, September 2nd. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I am doing phenomenal. It's odd, though. Like, when do we get to Labor Day and immediately have football being played late?
Yeah, I mean, we don't normally. But I tell you what, I think everybody's excited about this season. Everybody's ready, so let's go.
I'm very excited. I'm overjoyed. I'm elated. And I'm never going to complain about getting football earlier than we're supposed to be getting football. Like the Hall of Fame game being in July just set the tone for this is happening a lot faster than normal. How are y'all doing in the chat? We got 225 plus in the chat right now. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff as we push toward 25,000 subscribers on the channel. It is week one of the NFL season. We can now put the magical run of 2024 in the rear view. We can salute to it. We can cheers to it. We are not underdogs, a feel-good story. This is not Hallmark or Lifetime Movie Network. I told people yesterday, Washington is now an overdog. Like, is that a false assessment of this team going into this 2025 season?
No, not at all. I mean, this is a team that has legit Super Bowl aspirations, as they should. You know, they were in the NFC Championship game last year, and this roster is much better than that team was last year. I've been saying it all summer. If this team today played the team that was in the NFC Championship game last year, this team would beat that team. So now you just got to go out and prove it each week and start Sunday.
Yep, I think they would beat them possibly handily too, because starting with the guy who runs the show, the centerpiece, the foundational building block of this franchise, we're going to see a different Jayden Daniels. We are now JD 5 days away from the start of the 2025 season. Jayden in year two. I read an article in the Washington Post a couple days ago that spoke about how he's been turning down opportunities. He's very wise about his time. And to hear from a second-year player, because we've seen some of the stuff that came in and out of this building before. Like, to hear that a guy is turning down commercial shoots and ad sponsor opportunities because it takes away from a day of work, he's built differently.
Nah, this guy, you know, breathes and eats football. This is what he wants to do, what he loves. He wants to be not just the best commander, not just the best quarterback. You know, he wants to be the best ever. You know, that's his mentality. And puts the work in. And that's something that you have to love, because when your best player is putting the work in, it's contagious. Everybody has to follow suit.
It is.
And no one wants to fail each other in that locker room. So, yeah, man, he's the real deal. We knew that last year, but you'll see it this year, because now you're going to see more of a vocal leader as well.
Yep, vocal leader. We've heard how he's auto-correcting in real time, and you're hearing some of those veteran tropes of him getting guys lined up. You know, as an introverted guy, it's not introvert to the level of like a Justin Herbert or so. Jayden's just like, I like to say, he's like my son's personality. My son is not shy or extremely introverted. He just got to be comfortable around you, you know? He's the type of person, hey, who all gonna be over there, you know? You need to be comfortable with the company you keep, and once you are, he acting a fool, he's smiling, and he's a vocal leader, man.
Yeah, and Jayden, you know, everybody wants to be around him. That's the other thing, you know. Sometimes quarterbacks, you know, not all of them, but sometimes some of them aren't warm and fuzzy. you know? But Jayden's got that silly personality as well, and you know, and I mean that in the best way. Like, he's one of the guys. He jokes about things. Never takes the moment too serious. And I think that's what translates on the field for him. Like, the times that they won those games last year, they pulled out all those games. It's because their leader wasn't looking rattled, never
Yep.
looked, distorted or out of sorts. And that stuff's contagious. So everybody wants to be around him because let's face it, he's a winner and he's a likable person.
Yep, and he's a winner, but like unlike some people that you throw and attach winner to, it does not supersede what he does on the football field. The guy gets busy with his arm, he gets busy with his legs, and the mental aspect of it. He is the total package, and per Steve Young, the ultimate prototype of quarterback. So going into the 2025 season, you should have nothing less than expectations of a year two jump. We're not talking sophomore slumps when it comes to Jayden Daniels because we see it. We see it. The world is going to find out the stuff that we know internally, Lake, and I'm excited to see it. I'm talking MVP 5 loading in 2025.
Yeah, I definitely think he's a, top 5 candidate for the MVP. And I don't think he's at 5 either. I think it's a little higher. And if this team has any kind of success, obviously he's going to be a big part of that. So yeah, I do believe that with what I'm projecting for the team in general as a whole and where I think they're going to be, which is in Santa Clara at the end of the year, I think that tells you right there that he should be a front runner for the MVP. Because if they get to the Super Bowl, then he had one of those type of seasons, which would probably lead him to being an MVP.
Hell yeah. And when you're talking about Santa Clara, that means the team will be playing for one of these bad boys I got on my finger right now. And that would change my life drastically. I promise you that. But man, before we transition to our next topic, I'm gonna get to a couple of these super chats real quick. My guy Duncan Wright, aka Drunken Wright, who is a Philadelphia Eagles fan for those who don't know, he's always been a member, day one supporter of the channel. Who you play? Oh yeah, who cares? You scrub. Y'all better take care of business versus Dallas on Thursday night. That's crazy. We're 2 days away from the opener, Lake.
Yeah, man. And and to Duncan there, listen, Philly's the best team in football, make no mistake about it.
Mm-hmm.
But history shows, and history I know is meant to be broken. But history has at least shown over the last 22 seasons.
Nobody.
He's no back-to-back champions, division winners. And, you kind of get that mojo. You kind of feel like there could be a different team. And I'm just going to say it. The Super Bowl goes through Philadelphia.
It does.
I legitimately feel like the team, if there is a team that's going to dethrone Philly, I do think it's Washington because of the familiarity and the fact that number 5 in all 3 outings against Philadelphia last year, even in the NFC Championship game, he still was on one. I mean, he still looked good.
Yep.
And need in order to beat those guys.
Yeah, they like to lie and play revisionist history and act like Jayden went down there and pissed down his leg in the NFC Championship. He had that offense moving all day. He cannot help that 4th and 6 that got converted on Marshawn Lattimore, the Jeremy McNichols fumble, the De'Ami Brown fumble, and the Austin Eckler fumble, all of which could have made a 1-possession game at some point. 5 came to play even when everybody else was not ready to go just yet. Jared Talks Football. Appreciate you for your channel membership and for the $4.99 super chat donation. After the potential signing of Kendrick Bourne, where would you rank our receiving room relative to the rest of the league? Lake, I'm going to let you take this one. I'm going to give you your flowers because when you were doing your content creator gauntlet and schedule last week, you were the first person to put on the radar. I would monitor what's happening in New England with Kendrick Bourne because he had some overlap with Adam Peters in San Francisco, and so have you. He visited with San Francisco yesterday. An offer was made, but he's coming to Ashburn today to meet with the Washington Commanders. Talk about it, Lake.
Yeah, I mean, normally people don't not, come to another place. I mean, he could be doing his due diligence, of course, to see what's the better setup. But for him to be coming here, this goes back to the conversation we had last year as far as free agents and people wanting to come to Washington to play with Jayden Daniels. No offense to Brock Purdy, but if he's here, which he is, I know because he was a Dulles today, if that's the case, I would be shocked if Kendrick Bourne doesn't sign. And I thought that was already going to be done. I do know a contingency contract was already offered, so yeah, I think he's here to sign. I'm just expecting to get something from the team about, it being official. So Yeah, as far as the gentleman's question, I think it's a good signing for them if it happens because, it's a veteran. It's a guy that's been
Mm-hmm.
around. It's a guy that has some familiarity with Adam Peters as well as Deebo Samuel. They were teammates in San Fran. So anytime you can get a veteran that's comfortable around guys, Javon Kinlaw was there as well. Whenever you can get some familiarity with guys, it makes life easier. And let's face it, the Commanders are, they're one of those chic teams right now that everyone's talking about, that has all the primetime games. Hell, he can sign and get a trip, for his wife over to Spain. it's,
Mm-hmm. There's a
it's
night. It
not,
matters. All of this is relative to the conversation. Yep.
not a bad deal at all. So I think their wide receiver room would be good. I think they're already really good. I think adding a veteran just helps them as far as depth, as far as a guy that can be part of the rotation, take some pressure off a guy like Luke McCaffrey, where you're not expecting a whole lot of him, at least right off the bat. And I think another guy that can help Jalen Lane ascend too. So I would say it gives them a top 10 wide receiver room for sure. Could they be top 5? It'll all have to gel and come together.
I really don't care where the wide receiver room ranks league wide, but I know everybody's first hesitation is going to be he's 30 years old. He's entering season 9. We are not signing Kendrick Bourne to be wide receiver 2 on this football team. We are good at spot 1 and 2. Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel. The next receivers on the field, Noah Brown and Jalen Lane. Jalen Lane's going to be a huge and integral part of the offense. Jayden already has such a connection with Noah Brown. He caught the biggest pass of the season for the team last year, but you need Noah Brown insurance. I hate to keep harping on this, but he never makes it through a full season. It is the entire scouting report on his career so far. So you're pretty much getting Noah Brown 2.0. You're getting it just like it happened last year. A guy released from his team, plug and play. He's a starter. He's been a starter for the New England Patriots the last 4 years. He's anywhere from a 400 to an 800-yard receiver. Last year, our number 2 receiver had like 500 yards. So you're not going to tell me that adding a guy like Kendrick Bourne does not significantly change the outlook of the team. You don't have to rely or force Luke McCaffrey into a role bigger than it needs to be in year 2 for a, let's call it how it is, not so talented guy that we took in the 3rd round a year ago. But I think the signing of Kendrick Bourne would definitely round out the room very nicely. And what are we talking about? The San Francisco 49ers, I understand Brandon Ayuk and Demarcus Robinson are dealing with injuries over there. So early in the season, that presents an opportunity to get out there early. And I imagine they're going to put more money on the table because they know this is a more attractive location. And if he gets on that plane to Dallas, he probably not coming back. But it's Jayden Daniels. It's Cliff Kingsbury. And we're one of the new hottest, shiniest toys in the league right now. And the culture is indeed damn good. And in San Francisco last year, it was a nightmare on and off the field. So I don't see how he would get out of here without a contract unless he wanted more money. And coming from a contract previously where he was making $4 to $6 million a year, this is going to be pennies, Lake.
Yeah, man. From a playing standpoint, I could actually see him saying San Francisco is more attractive because he could play, more a lot frequently, especially early in the season, as you said, with the injuries to Ayuk and Robinson. But I mean, man, there's something to be said about catching the ball from a superstar. There's something to be said about all these primetime matchups. There's something to be said about the fact that you did not sign a deal with San Fran yesterday. There's something to be said about that because it shows you that there is an interest, there's a curiosity there. And if I'm Washington to get him here, I don't let him leave without the deal being done. Because if he does have a chance to think it through, things could sway back to San Fran. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to sign. I think that's the reason why he posted coming to Dallas.
Yeah, he put that John Smooth on his story. Put that John Smooth on his story off the early. He's going to be up at Big Bear Performance, BigBear.ai Performance Center. I'm still getting used to saying that because it's very new.
But you know what? I did want to say this too, and So people have been asking me, like, how'd you put those two things together? Well, I'm just going to tell you, when I was up in New England for joint practices and in
Yes,
the,
sir.
I know some folks up there. Little birdie tell me that outside of Stephon Diggs, they're probably going to go with the youth movement in New England. So Kendrick Bourne did not, wasn't released because he wasn't any good. I mean, it's just he requested the release, by the way, and it was because New England is trying to go with this youth movement outside of Stephon. And he just probably felt like, hey, I want a better opportunity. But when that was told to me, I was like, oh, you know what? This guy's got history with Adam. So when Washington went with 5 receivers on the roster, you heard me tell you last week, legit, there's no way they're going into the season with 5 receivers. That's not happening in the NFL. Most teams carry 6 receivers. And although, coach has been saying how much they like their room, and they do love their room, they got their main star back in Terry too. You still need some depth because, as you said, Noah does have that history of being injured. And do you really want to put a whole lot after Terry and Debo on Jaylen and Luke? No, you don't. So you definitely want, to have another veteran presence. So that's why this makes perfect sense, the pairing.
Makes perfect sense to add to the room. Like, you can let people run with their Twitter narratives about old stuff. We flipped a roster in one offseason. We flipped an entire roster from a 4-3 football team and immediately, expeditiously opened a Super Bowl title window. So you need some older culture setting flippers in the room. So Kendrick Bourne fits perfectly. It makes total sense to me, which we talked about the 53-man roster projection at the wide receiver position, and I was calling it like a spades line, like 5 and a possible. Like, I didn't see us keeping 6 on, because Ja'Cory Brooks had an okay offseason, but nobody really went out and earned a roster spot. It was very practice squad worthy. Why not bring in a guy like Kendrick Bourne? What do we have in the room stopping us from doing that, Lee?
Absolutely. That's a great point. And I said this. Outside of obviously the 2 stars, the superstar and Terry and then Debo, the best receiver outside of them, and Terry wasn't even there, but we know what Terry is. But with Debo, the only guy that was really showing, he's a dog. Jalen Lane was showing that. And I keep telling people that kid had one of the best 5 camps of any player at any position. So they saw that, and I'm sure that they saw. We get Terry back in here with Debo and Jalen. They feel really good about those 3 running them out there. And then, of course, with Noah, he's a pro. He's a vet. He gets it. But you just have to depend on, the fact that sometimes he does get hurt. So that's why Kendrick Bourne, I agree with you. It's Noah Brown 2.0. Maybe their games could be different in different ways. But just as far as being veterans, knowing a playbook, knowing how to study for the playbook, helps this roster tremendously at a position where they needed some more depth.
Hell yeah. I got no problem with it. And we know Adam Peters and Brandon Sosna and company are going to cook the book. Y'all see how they gave Terry the commission-based pay last week, and Terry's the guy. He can make as much money as he goes out and produces. So a Kendrick Bourne contract is going to be pennies, and it's probably going to be riddled in incentives. So money is not something Washington needs to worry about, especially considering they're going into every offseason with a surplus of capital because everyone's here on a 1-year deal with no guarantees. So money is not a problem over here.
And, I don't think sometimes fans understand that incentives aren't just what you do. Sometimes those incentives are
team-based.
Get to the Super Bowl. You get
playoffs.
Get to the playoffs. Get to the NFC Championship. Win the division. So there's plenty of team-based incentives that are going to get guys more money than, say, they may think, is San Fran really going to be a Super Bowl contender? No. And I think they're going to be good. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think they're better than the Rams in their own division. And I think Seattle's a team you better not sleep on, within that division. So I think Washington, although they've got the tougher road going through Philly, I just think the teams feel like number 5 gives them an opportunity. So maybe my incentives are latched on to him, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he damn sure does, man. And that was just a great point. And Adam Peters, if he wants Kendrick Bourne will not be leaving the building.
Bottom.
Appreciate you, Big Phil VA, for joining up. Welcome to the Rambler family. Make sure y'all welcome my guy to the channel, Sean Moore, aka Mamba Fats, my guy. Appreciate you for the $9.99 super chat donation. What it do? So if history repeats itself, we've won the division every 5th year since 2015. It is the 5th year now. That on top of 22 years since someone has repeated in the NFC East. I like our chances to win this division this year.
Absolutely. This is why I keep saying, I know Saquon, in Philly just got the #1 player, top 100, as he should. He
100%
phenomenal year. And he's a Penn Stater, we got to do that. But seriously, man, like the Eagles, Washington was the only team that I watched against them. Remember, Washington was the last team to beat Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So Washington, when I watched them play Philadelphia, even in the first game, the Thursday night game last year, Jayden Daniels, broken ribs, just didn't look like himself. They still were in that football game on the road. The game in Washington, I know no Saquon, I get it. Jalen Hurts got hurt in that game. I get it, but it wasn't that. It was the defense. The Eagles' defense got shredded by Jayden for 5 touchdowns. And then in that NFC Championship game, you go back and you watch that tape. And I was there in the building that day, and I know what Eagles fans had told me when I went into a suite of a friend of mine that's an Eagles season ticket holder, and he was like, I'm not looking forward to playing number 5 every year. This is crazy. This guy's really good. They know. So now he has more weapons, and more importantly, his offensive line has been revamped. Yep. Why not think Washington has a chance to dethrone Philadelphia? They do.
They damn sure do. And we're about to talk about some of these upgrades, because the fact that gets missing in all of this praying for Washington's downfall and for a slump, and that we were one-hit wonders and we were the team of destiny of sorts last year, because people think it wasn't sustainable, but there were so many sustainable things that Washington did, especially starting at the quarterback position. But the wide receiver position, we're going to work from the wide receiver room to the offensive line to the running back room, and then switch gears over to the defensive side of it. My guy, Art DeLeon, appreciate you for the $1.99 super chat. Let's effing go. 5 more days. Can't wait. Rio and Lewis, you from Texas? What's going on, man? I believe he's from San Antonio. What's going on, my guy? Door Gunner, appreciate you. Can't wait to fly up from Florida for this week's game. Also going to the Bears and Seahawks game. Wow, you're going to a Monday nighter, a Sunday nighter, and the opener. You are living over there, Door Gunner. I cross my fingers that Sunday is going to be as beautiful a fall weather day. We got fake fall going right now, Lake.
And I'm loving it, man. If I could bottle these days up, I would. Yeah. Because trust me, those practices and training camp, you feel like you're literally gonna melt on the grass out there.
Oh my God, that humidity was spanking us out there late. We got wind blowing, we got the sun out, and we're got barely hitting 80-degree temperatures in the first week of September. I've had some miserable week ones. Like, I almost had a damn heat stroke in 2021 when the Chargers came to town. So I hope the weather is phenomenal, especially for you. You can be out there suited up, suit and tied up, suited and booted, and doing your media thing out there on Sunday. So I hope the weather is nice to you, my guy. Just Andre, appreciate you. Crazy that golf is over JD5. Look, this is how I view the top 100 list, and everybody, we need to just react accordingly. Seniority. You all have a job. You all got a job, right? An office job. They're going to give the promotion to the dude who's been there for 15 years over you, even if you're better than him, just because seniority. He's going to get the first selection when y'all bid for shifts. He's going to get all of that. It's seniority.
I think everybody knows that number 15 was supposed to be Jayden.
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone knows that, but it's almost like as players, this is a hazing process still. Like, yeah, you look great in your rookie campaign, and we know you're like that. But, I mean, come on, man. Can we put this guy in the top 20, and he hasn't even taken a snap for his second season? So that's why he literally fell at 21, of course. we know he's higher than that, and he'll prove that this year. Next year, when these rankings come out, don't be surprised if that kid's in the top 10.
Yeah, top 10. I'm talking top 3 to 5 next year. Like, we shooting for the moon now, and it's realistic to do so. Jalen Hurts and Jayden Daniels should be over Jared Goff, but best offense in the league, #1 seed. I get it. Let's see what he does now that Ben Johnson is in Chicago.
They lost head to head, though. That's why I was even surprised. Because if you're going to say that, yeah, Jared Goff has been to the Super Bowl. I get that. He's been to the Super Bowl when he was with the Rams. So he's had some success, and his career was resurrected in Detroit. But I think the odds don't lie. You know, he's not Jayden Daniels, not even close.
Yeah, we're not on the same stratosphere. It's not even a conversation that needs to be had. Going back to the wide receiver room, our guy, Scary Terry McLaurin, fresh off of a new contract here in DC. They got him ramped up and right to the shits, Lake. I'm watching him do team drills. He's running full speed, and they got him back out there, helmet, guardian cap, and all. You are out at practice every day. What have you seen from Terry? Is he moving fine? And there's nothing we need to be concerned with about that faux ass ankle injury pup designation, right?
What ankle injury? Even in the press conference for this, you could tell he said, "Oh, I'm just gonna leave that right there." Everybody,
I'm gonna keep that between me and the medical.
Everybody, Terry had no ankle injury, but at the end of the day, he looked good, man. And not good. He looks like Terry. And the thing that I was really impressed with, so like the first day when he was back, he was relatively quiet, and you could tell it was just getting back, just getting himself back in. The second day, you could hear Terry all over the place. You could hear him. He was coaching up Jalen Lane. Really coaching him up and giving him some great advice. And he had that pep in his step, the bounce. He was talking with other guys. And, they threw a deep ball to him in practice. And, he's chest bumping Debo. And that's the Terry that we all knew and know. And glad that that's back because, man, it was hard having to cover this thing in the offseason, man. Just having to not be biased, not be favored, the team not favor Terry, but look at it from both sides. And I'm just glad it's behind everyone because this team legitimately, I feel like, is a Super Bowl team. I got them in the Super Bowl, but if Terry wasn't there, there's no way they could have done that. Their wide receiver room would have been thin, man, without your best playmaker. So yeah, with him being back and Terry, knowing what's at stake here. He got his bag. He knows what's at stake. I just think you're going to see even more of a leader out of him now.
Yep, you're going to see more of a leader out of the guy. Terry, seeing him coach up Jalen Lane, who's like a spitting image, but little bit smaller version, even wore the 83 in college, just like Terry did. Seeing him coach up Jalen Lane. There are fans that have concerns that he hasn't got in enough football shape to be throwing him out there full speed going into week 1. Should we anticipate Terry on a pitch count Sunday or just being Terry McLaurin?
No, just expect him to be Terry. Because one thing, Terry's in great shape. He takes care of his body. And also people have to remember he was in OTAs. We were there. He was in OTAs working, with everyone. And so he's already has familiarity. It's just that you didn't see him in the pads, over the last few weeks with training camp. But it's not like they're tackling each other and stuff in training camp. Those days of the old school training camps, that's not how it is now. This is very scripted. It's very, it's very set up so that guys can get through the training camp and make it to the season. So, you didn't see a lot of Debo in the preseason. That's the whole point. Yep. So Terry hasn't really missed anything. Obviously the camaraderie with his guys was still going on inside the building, just not publicly for everyone to see in the locker room. So I think I don't think he's going to want to be on a pitch count. If I know Terry, like I think I do, he's going to want to be out there battling, making plays and starting the season off on a high note.
And I'll close that one out by saying, I'm sure the player wants to get his ass out there as soon as possible. If there's a cause for concern, I think the team would do right by everyone involved by putting him on said pitch count. But it looks to me like Terry is ramped up and ready to go. It also looks to me like there have been a lot more Terry moving at the Performance Center than we've seen as fans.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, well, I mean, never mind. Y'all just use your imagination.
Context clues. Context clues.
I'll use your imagination, but that was happening. And then the other thing is that goes back to the Kendrick Bourne situation. That's why you want to get a guy like that signed today on our off day, because tomorrow I expect to see him out there in the pads, so you can start working him in, because that's another body you could have a couple reps that Terry can rest. And that's the other thing. Terry's never had Debo on the other side of him, and vice versa. Debo's never had a Terry. So they have opportunities now to give Terry a blow, on a couple plays. So if you want to call that a pitch count, then maybe that could be the case. Mm-hmm. But let's just say Terry plays 80 snaps a game. I think Sunday you might see 70 snaps a game, but that could be part of the offensive plan anyway.
To take some of the workload away.
Absolutely, take some of the workload off of him. And one thing you do know, they need Terry right by the end of the year, not so much the beginning of the year. And because that's when they're going to be leaning on him, they're going to be leaning on Debo, and hopefully by later in the year, you've established a number one back that you're not going to have established over the first maybe month of the season.
Hell yeah, man. Do whatever you got to do to keep 17 fresh. And we actually have reinforcements in that room. Jerry Williams, I appreciate you for the $4.99 super chat donation. Bold take, back-to-back division winners breaking that streak. I'm guessing this is a Philadelphia Eagles fan, but since I don't see no name put on it or no logo or anywhere, I'm going to assume you're guessing Washington wins the division this year and then wins it again next year, my guy. So shout out to you, Jerry, and Big Phil VA. Terry practicing that high. Oh, I saw that. I had to tweet about it. I seen Terry run a rep when he was high stepping into the end zone. Do you think somebody on the coaching staff is saying what we say and what everybody in the fan base saying? You would have 20 touchdowns if you knew how to high step and not get shoestring tackled on the 3-yard line 7 times last year.
Yeah, but you know what? In fairness to Terry, as the season progressed, he started breaking those.
Oh, yeah, he was kicking it. He was kicking it.
Every time he got them, you think about the playoffs and the NFC Championship. Took one to the house.
Deuces.
Against Detroit, took one to the house. Yeah. Tampa, big plays. So he started to pick it up. But yeah, you remember early in the season, the Carolina game, and a couple games where he got tripped up like right at the goal line. But nah, he started to develop that. But I know he knows now, and then I also know them incentives kicking in too.
Yeah.
You get more money for sure.
There's a whole bunch of them incentives he has written into that contract, man. But we're going to move from the wide receiver room to the upgraded offensive line. But before we do that, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. This season, Rio Robinson will be partnering with the #1 fantasy app in the world, Sleeper. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Football has never been more exciting than it is right now with players like Jayden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Jamar Chase. Pick on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times payout. Sleeper is the #1 fantasy app in the world. Get your picks right and you could win big using promo code RIO91. That's RIO91 and you'll get up to a $100 match bonus on your first deposit. Terms and conditions may apply. Sleeper, Rio91. Make sure you use my code for that up to a $100 match bonus on Sleeper. I need to re-record that ad. I sound like I recorded that shit in an aquarium or something. I sound like I was in that submarine that disappeared from the ocean a year or so ago. But
bottom line is you got ads, so that's what's up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The price of the brick has changed, Lake. But speaking of that, Washington's greatest investment is our quarterback. And the priority of this offseason was upgrading the offensive line. A lot of people didn't have us doing it. On the first day of free agency, we shocked the whole NFL world and traded for a stalwart book in left tackle and Laramie Tunzel. And we went with our first round pick, Josh Connolly Jr., which gives you 3 new starters because Brandon Coleman gets to return to his natural niche as a guard for this team. 3 new starters. Cosme starting the season on the pup, and we know what Biotish does at center. How much better is Washington's O-line in 2025, and just what is the ceiling of that room?
Man, this O-line is light years better than where they were at this point last year, because there were a lot of unknowns. By moving, first and foremost, we can talk about the tackles, but I think a huge move is moving Brandon Coleman back inside to guard. And I think him being your starting left guard, I'm telling you, I think it's going to be Brandon Coleman's got Pro Bowls in his future. Believe me on that. He was a monster. He was a monster when he was in college at TCU at guard before they moved him to tackle. So think about who he's in the middle of now. He's with, Laramie Tunsil, a 5-time Pro Bowler at left tackle. And I think Tyler Biotish is going to have some Pro Bowls in his career at center. He's one of the best centers in football. So Brandon's in a spot where he's got monsters to both sides of him, So now we know that if you say what's the one question mark on this line, it's going to be at right guard. And that's because Sam Cosme isn't back yet. But I'm predicting Sam Cosme, you will see him week 5. And when he comes back, to pair him up at that time, by that time, Josh Connolly is entrenched as the right tackle at that point. I think he starts Sunday. I truly believe that. That's just me. They haven't said anything to say yay or nay, but do not be surprised if they say, yeah, we're going to go with our number 1 draft pick to start the season against this vaunted defensive line of the Giants. I don't think they're going to hide him because who they're playing. I mean, it's the NFL. You got to go up against this every day. And by the way, he goes up against that every day with Von Miller and Javon Kinlaw. Yeah. So I think he starts. But I think overall, by the end of the year, with Sam's back and everything's clicking, I think Washington's offensive line has a chance to be a top 5 offensive line in the NFL.
I think so, too. And as good as this Giants defensive line is, man, we want all smoke. We are not ducking any smoke in 2025. Josh Connolly Jr. done seen Abdul Carter before. He's seen him in college.
His own.
He was more than holding his own out there. Bring him. Like, for as good as this Giants defensive line is, because I don't want to get too much into it because I'm obviously going to preview the game on the channel over the week, but Dexter Lawrence, their edges, Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, did nothing versus us last year. Kayvon Thibodeau has only produced on us when Charles Leno was the left tackle.
And I'm going to say this too. When you have a running game now that's going to be, you could have a big play running back in there. I'm telling you right now, if we come out and establish the run early against, and I got to stop saying we.
I'm about to say, Lake, I'm about to stop you right there, Lake. Lake, you got to, I know the fan in you. I'm allowed to say we, Lake. You got to keep it professional. I know when you come on with me, you just kicking it like a Washington fan. I see it, but you got to relax, Lake.
Yeah, man. So when Washington lines up, if they can establish the run, it'll be a long day for the Giants defense, because when you establish the run against pass rushers, they can't pin their ears back. Now they're on their heels, not knowing what's going to happen. And I'm just looking forward to seeing that new line. I have no concern that Laramie Tunsil is going to do more than enough against a Brian Burns or whoever they throw at them. He's the guy. So he's going to be able to do his part. And so naturally you're looking at what's going to happen at right tackle, because I'm pretty sure that's where the Giants are going to try to bring their pressure from. But I'm telling you, I can tell you right now, if Washington runs the football, they'll be just fine, because now it opens everything up for Terry, for Debo, for Zach Ertz in the middle of the field. They might hit you with a couple, don't want to say what they're going to hit you with, but let's just say Jalen Lane might have some opportunities.
Yeah, we got guys that can actually make plays with the ball in their hand. Like, the ball doesn't necessarily have to be walked to the end zone every time guys touch it in 2025. But Laramie Tunsil carries that stigma, that aura of just security. on the left side. Like, he is a superstar. He has skill player swagger. Like, he got that Trent shit about him. Like, it's really cool.
Bro, you hit that on the head, Rio. That's exactly who he reminds me of as far as
Personality.
just knowing I'm that dude, bro. Like, don't
Yeah.
that. Like, I'm telling you, man, in New England for that joint practice, the first play, not 5th, 10th, 11th, the first play, the play was to the right side of the field. And when the whistle was blown, Laramie Tunsil was driving a New England defender into Washington stands, literally into their bench. And it was just like, damn, like, where did this come from? Because one thing about Laramie, he's like uber laid back, like just uber laid back, just a, good dude to talk to, normal conversation. But when the pads come on, man, that's how most of these guys are. They just go into a whole nother dog realm, and that's him. He's a monster for sure.
Straight to business, man. Laramie Tunsil, like, don't ask him no stupid shit because he don't got time for any of that. Like, the other day, he was like, man, we ain't worried about nothing with the quarterback. He's him.
It's
like we're not
talking about that, man. Like, trust me. Oh, I've had some conversations. And he's a real one for sure.
You don't want to hear nothing about that. Should Jayden slide or nothing? We're not worried about 5. We know what 5 going to do, but it's nice having that because we were spoiled for quite some time with the Trent Williams and Chris Samuels of the world. I knew this team to always have a bookend tackle, so the last few years have been strange without one of those, but Brandon Coleman did hold it down from that spot last year, moving us to finish out the offensive room, the running back room. On Twitter, conversations are starting to arise for whatever reason that Bill Krosky Merritt may be inactive week 1. And can you please tell me where this is coming from and how do you think this running back room is going to be structured going into this one?
Why would he be inactive?
That's a great question, Oh, maybe he needs to learn some more and they're going to start Chris Roderick. Twitter, man. Twitter going Twitter, Lee.
Listen, he was a little banged up. I think I can report that.
Non-contact jersey.
Yeah, so they had he had the black jersey on pretty much the last 2 weeks. But that's to save him and make sure he's right for week 1. I can't for the life of me unless his shoulder is bad. He's playing, and I don't see any reason to think he's not. Obviously, I'll have a better idea tomorrow at practice, but I'd be shocked. I mean, that guy's competitive, man, by the way, and he knows that this is his time, and it would take a lot for them to keep him off the field Sunday. One thing they don't do is play guys hurt. They don't. They're very good about giving guys chances to be themselves health-wise. But I didn't see anything that leads me to believe that he can't go on Sunday unless something came up over the last 3 days we've been off. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. I needed that because I see no reason why. Like when I saw him and Eckler on the sideline in street clothes for the final preseason game, because they snuck guys onto the field. They snuck Trey Amos and Johnny Newton and a couple of guys on the field in that last preseason game. Didn't see Bill out there. I feel like him and Eckler are going to be the lead dogs of the room. Do you think? I know it's a committee situation, but those are the 2 top backs on the roster right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Rodriguez will get some touches at times, but it's clearly Austin and Bill. It's clearly those are your 2 guys. Basically Bill's replaced Brian, and then you still have Austin. Chris,
and it's good because it's a change of pace.
That's exactly what it is, and Bill's. If you ask me, what's the weakest part of his game? Just full transparency, I would probably say pass catching out the backfield. Not that he can't do it, but he's not Austin Eckler. There's not too many backs in the league that are Austin Eckler as far as the versatility that this guy. Austin Eckler was their best back last year. I don't think anybody can argue that from a production standpoint. But you don't want at this part of his career, this stage of his career, you don't want him to have to carry a full load, so that's where Bill comes in, and they're not gonna spoon feed Bill if he can't do it. They're not gonna take baby steps with him. I mean, you moved on from a back that, if anything, you knew could carry the football. I mean, he may not have been a surefire 1,200-yard back, never proved that, but he still was good. So I think for them to do what they've done with Bill over the last 2 weeks, to me, by him wearing that black shirt, was telling me that they were doing everything they could for him not to take any unnecessary hits to be ready for week 1.
Yep. I imagine Eckler is going to be the first back you see on the field when we start the season, and they love that guy, but they also don't want to make his workload too much because his age is getting up there, and he was stacking concussions last year, and he had a couple scary collisions. So they're not going to put too much on Eck, but they love Eck, and this is probably the last year we get out of Eck, so they're going to get everything they have left from that guy in 2025. JTF, appreciate you for 8 months of channel membership. Looking forward to us being the first 2-0 team in the division. I'm looking forward to it too. Cruising, our resident Giants fan in the building, him and Almighty Finesse. Rio, are you getting a blue or white Dart jersey? First of all, I said shirt jersey. If y'all beat us, I'll get a Jackson Dart shirt and I'll wear that shit on the channel. If y'all beat us Sunday, I'll do that. Lucky for me, I'm not going to have to do that because the Giants are not beating the Commanders on Sunday from Northwest Stadium. And Dart ain't got enough motion yet to have options. I don't think he got options in the store yet outside of the state of New Jersey or New York. But it'll probably be the blue one, but we don't got to worry about that because it's not happening in 2020. They're not beating us on Sunday late.
No, they're not. But I don't think it's going to be – it's not going to be a dog walk either.
Hell, yeah.
Listen, this NFC East, man, and my prediction for the game was 23-13 Washington.
Okay.
But I think that 10-point lead or win
is at the end.
It's a fourth quarter win. It comes in the fourth quarter where they pull away. They're more talented.
Yep.
But I do think that this is going to be an entertaining football game, a well-played football game, a defensive battle football game. But I think Washington's just the superior team, and they'll pull away at the end. But it also could be similar to the game up in New York where, although the score didn't look bad, Washington was never in jeopardy of losing that football game. I think that's how this game's going to be. They're never going to be in jeopardy of losing it, but I don't think they're going to pull away either.
Yeah, I see it being just like the last game. Like, we kind of handled them in that last game, and we showed them mercy. We took a knee from the 1-yard line to close the game. It would have looked a lot different.
Yeah. I think that's how this game goes. It's going to be one of those games where Washington's just going to do what they need to do to get out the building healthy and with the W.
Yeah, I see a 10-point victory also in the same fashion where we pull away and we put the dagger in them late, but it's going to be an NFC Beast game. This is the best division in the sport, Lake. We're on Hard Knocks this year for a reason as a full division, the only division in the league where every team in the division has multiple Super Bowl rings, all 4 of them, man.
And also the only division in history that has 4 starting black quarterbacks too.
Yes, sir. Big culture going on in the division.
Yeah, for your one of your most historical divisions to be the first to do that, man, I mean, that's ironic. That's poetic justice. So it's gonna be worth watching. But you'd be hard pressed to get me to think that they're gonna just totally smoke the Giants and hang, I see someone put up their 48 up on this Giants defense, then I know they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I respect the Giants defense. It's really good, but I respect our offense more. But it's going to be a good one on Sunday. And now we can flip sides to the defensive side of the ball because we know what the offense is going to be for real. The biggest questions on this team are going to be answered on the defensive side of the ball. But before we move over to the defensive side of the ball, I don't know if y'all are going to the game on Sunday or if you're going to any Washington Commanders game. I'm going to the Raiders game week 3, as far as I know, and I may pop out to the Seattle game on Sunday night on November the 2nd. But if you need tickets for the 2025 season, code RIO10 for 10% off on SeatGeek. I've been looking to find the best deal on Washington Commanders tickets for the 2025 season. which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sporting events, festivals, and more. The NFL is right around the corner and MLB is in full swing. I love using SeatGeek. Recently used it, lock in my training camp tickets. Most notably, I was at the Grand National Tour with my son, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA at Northwest Stadium. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 through 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And you know I had to come through for y'all using promo code RIO10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code RIO10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically sent to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring this video. Rio10 is the promo code for 10% off SeatGeek tickets for the 2025 season. But matter of fact, before we get to the defense, Lake, do we need to be concerned about the kicker position? They need to bring some competition, or we need to let it play out in the season before we start going there?
Listen, man, let me just say this. If Matt has a tough game Sunday, they're definitely going to have to, take a look at something, because, this is important stuff now, man, and at the end of the day, I really truly believe that they feel like they're not going to be kicking a lot of field goals. They want him kicking extra points because they're going to be scoring on people. And as we said before, this team went for it a lot last year on 4th down, had a historical run in their success rate on 4th down last year. So no need for any of us to believe they're going to change that trend as long as Jayden is there. You think he can manufacture 2 yards on a 4th and 2. So I don't think the pressure is as enormous on Matt Gay as a lot of people are making out. But nevertheless, he still has to be consistent, and he just hasn't been throughout camp.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give him week 1. Like I said this the other day, I'm gonna give Gay a week to straighten up. I'm gonna give him a week.
Yeah, he's got out this Sunday and misses 2 field goals.
Yeah,
not gonna be good, and the fans will let them know about that too, by the way, because he's got everybody on edge. But if he goes out and makes 2, then you have another week to not worry about that. So he needs a good outing to kind of get some crickets for him. Put some things to bed.
But moving over to the defensive side of the ball, our fans be letting Joe Whitt Jr. have it. But year 2, year 3 is when Dan Quinn and Joe Whitt really sunk their claws into the young talent in Dallas and turned that defense into what it is now. I just saw Deron Bland, who no one thought was going to be this in the NFL, get $90 million the other day from the Dallas Cowboys. Pick 6 record, turnover machine. Washington does not need to be a dominant defense. They just need to find ways to be opportunistic and give the ball back to our MVP candidate quarterback. What is the ceiling of Washington's defense, and what does Joe Whitt Jr. need to prove in 2025?
I think Joe, needs to prove a lot. I think everyone keeps saying Dan Quinn defense, and we know Joe comes from that tree, but it's his defense. And I know he wants to be a physical, downhill, aggressive type of defense. That's what he preaches. That's what he wants from his guys. But let's face it, last year he inherited some guys. He inherited, really bad secondary outside of Mikey, and then they traded for Marshawn. So this is his group now, and I think you're going to see better results because this is his group, starting from, to Trey Amos. Trey Amos has star written all over him.
Sure does.
So you look at Trey, you look at Marshawn, who's back to being Marshawn. You got 2 press corners right there, and then you got Mikey, who's going to lock up the middle of the field. So I think that they have everything in play that they need, but it starts with the front 7. And I do believe this defensive line is going to play way better than last year's unit. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at what this defensive line is going to do. And the one thing I can assure people that they're not going to be getting done to them, teams aren't going to be able to run the football like they were last year, because all the guys that they brought in, if they have one thing that's, they can put on their resume, is that they're all really good
run stoppers.
Yeah. So that should improve drastically. And then a guy like Von Miller, who's just been on reserve chilling, this training camp, now he's going to turn it up, and you're going to see on third downs and things like that, you'll see a pass rush. And it's a perfect game for them against Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson, regardless of his age and regardless of what you feel about him as a quarterback, he's still a great athlete, and he still can move around
and extend plays.
So now having this new defense, everyone's talking about the Giants defense. I'm not so sure that they're going to have the best defense on the field come Sunday.
Ooh, that's bold. That's a bold take, because everybody's expecting you throw in Abdul Carter, a Javon Holland, a Paulson Adebo to an already good. Like, the Giants defense was already good, and it kept them in a lot of games they probably shouldn't even have been in. They were held back significantly because of the lack of consistency at the quarterback position. So if Washington's defense is even comparable to the Giants, then that would be quite.
Washington's defense finished last year, I think, 15th overall.
They did.
So that's above average.
It is.
If they can just move a couple more points up, they're a top 10 defense. And I think the talent on this unit this year is clearly greater than last year's. And so they should be a top 10 unit. That's why I'm saying, the Giants have that great front seven. I'll give them that. But that secondary, they can be had. And I think that's where,
for sure.
And that's where Terry and Debo, I think, do work come Sunday. That's going to be the biggest thing. Run the football, and then you can play action and do all kinds of stuff. But I think Washington's defense has a chance to walk out Sunday with the W, feeling like they were the better defense. They caused the most turnovers, something they haven't done all training camp, all preseason. They didn't get any picks. So they've got to turn that up for sure.
So the way you just juxtapose the two teams' defense just made me sit and think for a second. I like our secondary better than theirs. I like our linebacking room better than theirs. They really only got us on the defensive line, and that mostly is skewed because of Dexter Lawrence and Abdul Carter. So you might be cooking something here, Lee.
But he hasn't done anything yet. You know what I'm saying? So again, I like the chances if Abdul's ever lined up against Laramie. Okay, and I'm a Penn State guy saying that, but I like our chances much better than that. Obviously, if Connerly's on the field, they're going to come at him. They're going to bring everything his way. But that's okay, though, because number 5 can pull things out of a hat. That's what makes him so special. So I think having a special quarterback and an upgraded line really neutralizes that giant front four.
Yeah, and their offensive line does not put any fear in my heart. I don't even know what the status of Andrew Thomas, which is their only lineman worth a real damn on that entire unit. We all know it's going to start and end with superstar, bona fide super. He's like Odell Beckham in a running back body, like young Odell Beckham, not rinsed Odell. Malik Neighbors. We all know it's going. We watched Michael Davis let him run the same route 7 times in a row in week 2 of the NFL season last year. Malik Neighbors, even if he's battling foot injuries or whatever it is, he's a threat every time he steps out on the field.
He is, but you know what I like about the secondary for Washington? You can't hide Malik Neighbors on any side of the field anymore. Yep. So like last year, they would move him over to Benji side. Last year,
Michael Davis.
They were finding guys to put him at, and there was no answer. Well, you can't do that now with this secondary. You can't. So Marshawn can get up on him. Trey can get up on him. Mikey can get up on him if he has to, if they move him into the slot. So those are those matchups. Malik Neighbors, he's going to get his because he's dominant. But that's what we're talking about. You're going to have a Slayton or somebody else beat you, and I just don't know if they're going to be able to do that with this secondary now.
Yeah, you can't. So out of those two guys, Marshawn Lattimore in year 2 with the team, or Marshawn Lattimore in year 2 with the team, or the rookie sensation we've heard a lot about, but we have not seen too much of yet as fans. You have, because you've been there. Who would you want drawing that matchup if somebody had to follow him around, even though I don't think it's going to be a shadow situation over here?
Sheesh, that's a tough question, brother. Like, I could see why you would put all three of them on him in certain situations, but if it was just
so Mikey too,
even Mikey's physical.
He is. He's little, but he's physical as hell.
Yeah, Mikey will put a body on you. And Mikey's elusive. That's the other thing. Mikey might be the most elusive of all of their corners as far as covering a guy like Malik Neighbors, who's elusive, who's quick. But I think I think Trey draws the assignment.
Ooh, damn. So you're saying
and he's a ball tracker. He's a ball tracker. That's the other thing. And Russell does put some up there to be had. So I'm going to go ahead and predict this. You're going to see Trey Amos get his first NFL pick Sunday.
Ooh, off the so we already going into bold predictions for the game. Woo, Trey Amos first career.
I'm running.
Okay. I love that, man. I love that. You see, we've tried a couple different ways at attacking this cornerback position in the draft over the years in other regimes. Now we have a guy that's not only has the size and the physicality, has the speed and the athleticism to run potentially with number one receivers in the league. Daunting task in week 1 because Malik Neighbors is already like that. We're talking about with no quarterback play last year, missing a couple games with a concussion, over 100 catches and 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns as a rookie with Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito and company throwing you the ball. That's big time, Lake.
It is, and the thing that, we haven't talked about this, but like the key in this game for Washington's defense is I know they're going to try Malik deep at some point. Russell loves the deep ball. That's what he does. They're going to try Malik deep at some point. But that's where Quan and Will Harris come into play. And I think that the secondary and in the back end, the safeties, I think it's upgraded as far as pass coverage. Will Harris can cover. That's his strength. He's a guy that can track a football too. So, to have that deep help, that back end help, I think will make a big difference for these corners to know that they can just go up and press guys. If a guy gets by them, they've got some safety help over top. So it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out. But I think Washington's secondary body, when it's all said and done at the end of the year, they're going to be recognized as one of the best. They're special.
Yeah, they definitely. That we've come so far at the cornerback position. Week 1 of the 2024 season was a nasty group. Forbes, Benjamin St. Juste, Michael Davis and company. Sandra Steele was our saving grace. And early on in that season, they had Sandra Steele wearing so many damn hats that he was getting baptized out there. They had that boy running with the best in the league, the best of the best. Chris Godwin, week 1, they put him on an island with Jamar Chase, week 2, first drive of the game. Week 3. So it was a learning curve for sure for Mikey Sanders-Still and company. And then the safety room, we know Quan Martin, no separated shoulders this year. You could already see him getting to it in the preseason. Will Harris, we only saw a glimpse of it, but it looked good. The tackle he made on the goal line versus Cincinnati, the first safety on the field outside of them two, is it all pro Revo? Is what the preseason and training camp told us that Revo is going to be the first safety on the field other than the starting 2.
Absolutely, as he should be. That guy, man, let me tell you, Jeremy's one of them dudes, when he comes around and you're a teammate, you kind of want to stay clear because somebody's getting hit. If it's the opposing team, fine, but it might be you on his team. He's coming with some lumber. And then let's not forget about Tyler Owens. I know you didn't see a whole lot from him like you did last year as far as training camp, but he's a big body that can make a play, so it's just revamped so fast, man, to be able to say where this team was going into the first game last year to where they are right now. It's night and day as far as the talent level. And for everyone that keeps asking me, I had a lot of people ask me, but they haven't looked so good in preseason and their depth doesn't look good. And I'm like, they suit up 53 guys every week, right, in preseason. and 20 of the guys that normally were suiting up were on the roster. I was just trying to tell people, even their main reserves, they weren't playing, and this all by a scheme. It's all intentional. They didn't want to show anything. What you're going to see on the first drive against the Giants is going to have your mouth open because you didn't see any of that. Trust me when I tell you, Jayden scored that first drive. He didn't throw the football. Nope. Not by coincidence. Trust me on that.
It's going to feel similar to the shock and awe game in 2012 when we went down to New Orleans, and none of that offensive package was what we seen during the preseason, except it's on steroids now because Jayden, Cliff and company, what we got going on right now is a different beast than we've seen here probably ever. So absolutely. I don't think we need to be too concerned with what happened in the preseason.
No, not at all. And I think, I could see Bill getting the first carry. I really could see that. Just for them to say to the Giants, we're not afraid of you. We know what you got, but we're trying to dictate and put our will on you guys. So don't be surprised if Washington comes out and runs the football at the Giants just to show them it's a new setup here.
Hell yeah, man. I want folks to remember, as good as that Giants defense was, the first time we played them last year, we were in the lab rat experimental stage of Cliff Kingsbury and Jayden Daniels offense, and we still did not turn it over nor punt it one time. 7 possessions, we scored every time. It just happened to be field goals on every time, but we've graduated and we've made it leaps and bounds in development past where we were, and the roster is completely different. Marv Taylor, I appreciate you for the $4.99 super chat donation. Best show out of the Kings. Rio gets my vote. Runner-up was Rico. That's my boy. Shout out to all my guys. Shout out to Louis T, Rico, Ed Oliver, and all my guys over at the Commanders Kings. And shout out to all of y'all for rocking with us. We got something special planned this week. To be determined. We're going to let y'all know at a later date, but we're going to do something fire this week for sure. My guy, Jern, one of my day ones. Appreciate you for rocking with the guy for 33 months. So you heard Lake's first bold prediction for Sunday. Trey Amos catches his first NFL interception. So I guess I'll throw one out there as well. My bold prediction for Sunday's matchup, Tyshun Raekwon Samuel Sr. will score 2 touchdowns on Sunday. Big Debo.
Ooh, hey, listen, bro.
Two of them.
I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't. He's gonna have a big year, and when I say a big year, a Pro Bowl caliber season is coming up for Debo. Trust me when I tell you that. I don't know how teams are gonna cover him and Terry. I don't see how they're gonna be able to. And as Jayden, told me last week in the press conference, he's not worried about too many footballs going around. He's going to take what's there. And, if you want to play press, he's going to get you. If you want to go zone, he's going to get you. I mean, how are you going to cover those guys? So I don't think that's a bad prediction right there, Rio.
Hey, 2 touchdowns for Debo Samuel on Sunday. I'm not telling you to play it. I'm not telling you to pick it on Sleeper, but my crystal ball tells me Debo gets in the end zone 2 times early, and we're going to see his impact looking like Curtis Samuel in the Jags game back in 2022, but on steroids a little bit, man. I think that rapport Debo built with Jayden over the summer. The one good thing that came out of the Terry saga is that Jayden and Debo were on a crash course of synergy and cohesion going into the season, and I think Debo ready to go.
Absolutely. He got a chance to be that one wide receiver while Terry was out, just to be familiar with the playbook. Now, because you've ran as that one, what's expected of Terry. Terry is back as the one. So now how Terry could see something differently with you being the 2. And I say 2 like respectfully, because it's more like 1A and 1B. That's what you're going to get from these guys this year. It's going to be something to behold, man, because we haven't seen this. I mean, we saw it with Pierre and Deshaun, but Kirk was throwing the ball, and we know Kirk wasn't putting that thing down the field deep. Now you're going to see 2 legit weapons with a legit quarterback who, by the way, I think this year's Washington offense, as far as the pass game, it's going to have a little bit of that LSU flair to it when he was down there. They're going to be putting will. Believe me.
Yeah, it's going to be must-see TV. Get your popcorn ready. Also, appreciate you, Effie Coley, for sending the $20 Cash App Super Chat. Said, thanks for the Commanders content. No, thank all of you for watching. It is Tuesday afternoon, September 2nd. I got NFL Insider, friend of the show, friend in real life, Blake Lewis Jr. with me. We got over 1,000 people watching in the chat live on a Tuesday afternoon, which tells me that fall air is hitting and that football is being played. Cowboys, Eagles in 2 days. Washington hosting the New York Giants in JD 5 days away. We've talked some bold predictions. We both think Washington's going to win this one. We're not discounting or looking past the Giants. Lake's bold prediction, Trey Amos is going to catch his first career interception in his first NFL game. Mine is Deebo Samuel will be catching 2 touchdowns on Sunday versus the Giants. You let me know in the chat what your bold predictions are right now. But my guy DB, appreciate you always for holding it down on the channel, says, what up, Rio and Lake? Does Bourne become wide receiver 3 by midseason with Noah's injury history? I think the plan is for Jaylen Lane to be the number 3 there, but considering his versatility of being slot and outside, maybe we're just talking boundary here.
Yeah, no, Jaylen Lane's their third receiver. Make no mistake about it. If you had to pencil in on a depth chart, it's Terry, Deebo, Jaylen Lane, Noah, and Luke's the one that I think comes down a little bit. You know, I think Luke will be the 6th receiver. I think Bourne will be your 5th, but I think Bourne and Noah will get reps. You know, Luke will get a couple, but I believe that you're going to see Bourne and Noah kind of sharing, you know, the reps of one, of one receiver specifically in that realm. But yeah, man, I mean, all these guys are going to be able to make some plays when their time is called. And, you know, you just got to be ready because Jayden will get you the ball.
So year 2 players that we all need to see something from in 2025. On Sunday, which one of these names has the biggest impact on the result of the game? Ben Sinnott, Luke McCaffrey, Johnny Newton, Jordan McGee. What say you, Lake?
Man, that's a great one. I'm going to say Jordan McGee. And Johnny, because I think he can get some interior pressure and you're going to need that against Russell to keep him at bay. But I think Jordan McGee, I think he's going to have a breakout year. Obviously, we know about the injuries, but man, just from what I see in practice, that dude is a tank coming at you. He's a hitter. He's fast. He's smart, likable. I mean, you just want to see guys like that do well. And I know the coaching staff, they love him, absolutely love his work ethic. And I know Bobby and Frankie love him too. So I think he's going to be that third linebacker to really make some noise right off the top. And before anyone says, what about Vaughn? Vaughn's not a linebacker. That's what they list him as. But we know he's an edge rusher, okay?
Okay, so Jordan McGee out of those names, which brings me to that linebacker room. So it's not going to be one of those years where Luvu and Bobby got to play 97% of the snaps again.
They don't want that. I mean, you know, you don't want that. You want Jordan, you want Kane, heck, Allie, you got all kinds of guys that have athletic ability that they can move around and put in there, you know, in different opportunities. There's going to be times where you only see Frankie out there or Bobby out there by himself, you know, at times because of packages. So yeah, man, I don't think that they want Bobby Wagner and Frankie to have to carry all the heavy lifting, especially early. Yep. So that's why you want to get Jordan in there and get him indoctrinated and get a lather on that kid. You know, guys, the more reps they get, the better things are, and the game, the speed of the game slows down.
I'm going to go a different route with this one. I'm going to go Johnny Newton. I think Johnny is going to get to Russell Wilson. I think he's going to get at least a sack on the day, and I think he's going to cause some disruption. Russell Wilson still has the ability. He's still slippery. He still has the extend the play ability. He's not the same as he used to be in his Seattle heyday, but we got to get to him up front. And I think this offensive line is barbecue chicken outside of Andrew Thomas, who we're not even certain is going to be out there on Sunday. And I know Johnny Newton lost some weight, but barbecue chicken sounds like something he got on his plate on Sunday. I think Johnny Newton gets to it.
Absolutely. Need the protein. Listen, if you ask me like two guys that you think are going to have a huge impact on the game that maybe are running under the radar, I'm going to tell you Jacob Martin. I think he's got a huge opportunity to make a play Sunday. And then I also think Javon Kinlaw shows people that about to have a monster season football team. So those are the two guys I think keep your eyes on as well. I mean, this football team, man, they have depth, contrary to what some people think. And they're loaded, man. This is a Super Bowl caliber football team, and it's okay to say that. If you're a fan, I still got people telling me to,
pump the brakes.
My brakes, keep the expectations down.
Let it happen first.
I mean, God forbid, but I can slip and fall down my steps when I leave.
Knock on wood, though. Knock on wood. We need Lake out there at the park covering the team.
Yeah, you can't think in those terms. Like, that's for people who want to have wiggle room just in case something bad happens. They already expected it. You can't think like that. This isn't the Snyder teams. This is a different setup. These guys believe that they're good, and they believe they left one out on that field last year. And you got new guys that have come over here who've come from some winning organizations that believe, and I've talked to them, and they've said, we're a Super Bowl caliber football team here. So remember last year, I asked Bobby in the locker room at the halfway point, they were having some success. And I asked Bobby Wagner, it's my guy, I asked him, do you feel like this team, is a Super Bowl caliber team? And his exact words to me were, we can be. He said, but when I was in Seattle, we made a move. We made a move during the season that kind of solidified us as being one, but we can be. The next week, they traded for Marshawn Lattimore.
Yep.
I mean, so they saw it. They started seeing it develop. Well, I'm going to ask Bobby that question tomorrow after practice.
Please do.
Is this a Super Bowl team? And I'll let you know what he says for sure.
Yeah, please do, and please document that, man. What I'm telling y'all as fans is we are allowed to believe in our new fortune. We are allowed to believe in new beginnings, and we completely baptized and cleansed the organization from top to bottom. We're allowed to believe that we have a game-changing, top-tier, upper echelon, top 5 quarterback for the first time like ever in the existence of this franchise in the modern day world where the TV was in color. We're allowed to believe it. We don't have to go into the season trying to get a prenuptial agreement on our success. We don't have to plan for the exit strategy. We're allowed to go in thinking this is going to work. We don't have to go to divorce court before we walk down the aisle, y'all. This team is in a different place than it used to be. Breathe, exhale. They got to go out and confirm it. We're no longer a success story, some underdog. We are overdogs now. We have expectation, and people are rooting on the team's demise.
Man, listen, positive thinking brings positive results. And I like to look at myself as a testament of that. When I started thinking positive about anything in life, I had positive results and positive things happening. And that's how you should feel about this football team. What have they done for you not to be positive? I mean, they've done everything right. They just signed Terry back. I mean,
they did. And then we heard pay Terry all offseason. Paid Terry.
Well, he got paid, and he's back. You have one of the ascending superstars in this game, and Jayden Daniels. You have a coach that, if you don't like Dan Quinn, you just don't like people. I mean, he's a class act, a good man, fair, honest. And then you have a competent front office now, that's doing things the right way. I mean, hell, even the name changes, the new stadium coming. I mean, the uniform going back to what it was. I mean, like, seriously.
Did you say uniform, Blake? Because speaking of uniform, it feels like a good time to throw this up on the screen. The Super Bowl era jerseys are officially they're officially available for pre-order on the team site. Someone told me they're on site at Dick's Sporting Goods in certain locations right now. As of today, you can order a Jayden jersey. I seen all kind of jerseys. Every player on the team got a jersey available on the site. I saw Luke McCaffrey jerseys available. I believe the preschool and younger youth sizes are going to ship within the next week or so. The other jerseys, men's sizes, women's sizes, they're going to ship sometime in October. The plan is for everybody to have their Super Bowl era whites available by the time we play the Seattle Seahawks and wear them for the first time on Art Monk retirement night. So just to let y'all know, since Lake did it, I had to segue into it. The Super Bowl era jerseys are available for pre-order right now. The team has been listening, and they got to go out and prove it in year 2. But it is okay to accept that this team is headed in the right trajectory, and we are not moving like we did before.
And if they were, not that I think they are under any circumstances, I don't think they're losing Sunday. But if they were to lose Sunday, it doesn't mean their season's over. It's just the gloom and doom approach and that sometimes that the fans have had to have, and I understand this, you guys as fans, I get it. That's how it was. Well, imagine how it felt to me in the media being in there and being around. It's not like that now, and I hope you really truly believe what I'm saying. I'm not employed by the Washington Commanders. My employees, I cover them. I'm paid by my employees to cover them. So with that said, but I also know what I see. And this first class, it's not just me saying this. Will Harris said this to me. Will Harris's mom said this to me. It is first class the way they treat people. Javon Kinlaw said it. KJ Osborne, who's not here anymore, said it. All these new faces that were in say it's just they've never been treated like that, with this kind of respect and this kind of brotherhood and everybody rowing in the same direction. It's a real thing. So I think some of those fans who are still kind of lingering back in the old days a little bit, it's okay to walk through the light now, really. Always be great, but I can assure you it's going to always be better than what it was.
Yeah, join us in a path to new beginnings and prosperity in a new Washington Commanders era of football. Door Gunner, my guy, Giant center John Michael Schmitz is ass. We should pressure him up the middle. Daron Payne, they can get out this contract if you do not produce this year. I mean, they could get out even if he does produce this year. So we saw what happened last time he was in a contract type situation. He went crazy. He's like the one player I don't hear anyone talking about. Did I hear more Kinlaw than I hear about Payne?
Daron's had a really solid offseason, really solid training camp. Daron hasn't talked much. He's kept his head down, as he should, because he sees, I think he feels better about Terry getting paid, now, because if you produce, you will get paid. That's just the bottom line. Unfortunately, a lot of the old guard didn't produce, and that's why a lot of the old guard's gone. So Daron and Terry are left, and Sam's left. Sam and Terry have something in common. They got paid. So Daron can get a contract if he goes out and does what he's capable of doing. We just need to see that be consistent. And the last time it was consistently done, it was that contract season. So maybe that bodes well for him.
Yeah, maybe it does. I need to see some more. I need to see him getting active this year. I'm excited about what the combination or the trio of him, Johnny Newton, and Javon Kinlaw is going to make a lot of us look crazy. Well, I didn't hate the signing. I know people saw the money and like immediately poo-poo the signing of Javon Kinlaw, but me personally, I'm with it, and I believe the vision of Adam Peters. He drafted this guy in the first round. He sees something that we don't.
Man, he's had one of the best camps, and if you ask me, like, off the top of my head, top 5 camps, I'm going to say Jayden won because he just looks like he's on another planet.
Even throwing it to Chris Moore and company still. That's crazy.
Dropping passes. Jaylen.
Reeves got to be up there.
Reeves got to be, man.
And Mikey.
know if I can say 5 because there's been a lot of
Yeah, because
jokers.
Mikey been hooping.
Mikey, I mean Trey, Quan. I mean, it's okay. I can't give you 5, but let me just tell you, Quan's in the conversation if we're going to have one. He's looked like a man child out there, like just manhandling people. In New England, it showed. Like those joint practices, you saw disruption, and that's when I said to myself, okay, either New England's line is terrible or this defensive line is actually good. And you know what I'm coming to my senses realizing, not coming to, I had my baptism like 2 weeks ago. They're going up against a revamped offensive line at number 5 every day. They don't have a choice but to get better. And they have gotten better so much so at times they were stymieing the offense in practice. That's a good sign on both sides because the offense can learn to get better too by not always having their way. And then the defense is getting better, at times having the offense make plays on them. So they're having real legit practices where they're able to work off things and get better at it.
And this is true, man. Big E, appreciate you for the $4.99 super chat donation. What's up, fam? Lake, what's good? Love our Friday shows. We need to bring Rio on some. I bought JD5, Bobby, and you bought all 3 Super Bowl era jerseys. Oh, you're going crazy. You're trying to have one for each game that we wear them this year. Wow, Big E. And shout out to Fan Fridays on the Lake Lewis podcast. Y'all got anything special planned over there for week 1 of the season, Lake?
Man, like I told the guys in the off season, I have some players that want to pop in on these shows now. So I don't think they'll do it week 1. Got to get through that. But I think, and it may not be because 4 days later we're playing. I'm leaving Tuesday to head to Wisconsin, so for Green Bay. So I think after week 2 we're gonna start having some guys pop up in there and make it special. Rio been on before. You're more than welcome to come in anytime. So.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, and it's all these listeners on here, all these viewers, because you got quite a few on here. Make sure you check out the show, The Lake Lewis Jr. Show. You can go to the channel on YouTube at The Lake Lewis Jr. Show on YouTube.
Yep, and that sounds like a perfect opportunity to let my guy Lake get out of here before I wrap him up and have him spend his whole afternoon on Rambling with Rio. You just let him know one more time where they can follow you, what the week's looking like in Ashburn with the team returning to practice. We should be seeing a depth chart injury report. We're back into the regularly scheduled programming of a regular season. Lake, let them know what's going on.
Yeah, you can check me out on social media at Lake Lewis Jr. That's on all social media. You can subscribe to my show, like we just said, The Lake Lewis Jr. Show. You can watch it on YouTube. You can subscribe to it on your favorite podcast carrier. It's on Radio 1. And then also, I've been writing for Heavy Sports, NFL reporter for them. So you can check out some of my articles on heavy.com under Washington, the Commanders. And then, insider for CBS 6 television, in Richmond, ABC, DC. And coming up on the 9th of September, which will be next Tuesday, I will actually start on ESPN Radio.
Let's go, ESPN Lake. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Busy man during this time of the year. The team is back out at practice tomorrow, correct?
Yep, we'll be back out there tomorrow, Thursday. Fridays are walkthrough, so most of the time they're quick. Most of the time, people trying to get out of Dodge, to get back to the families before they, have to get to the team hotels on Saturday, or fly out. So. The big coverage is normally Wednesdays and Thursdays. So, yeah, I'll be there.
Hell yeah, man. And we already know you're going to be there suited and booted for a Sunday afternoon. I'm going to start my all-day live stream Sunday probably around 12 noon. If they finally got the media Wi-Fi fixed at Northwest, you might have to pop in and give us a stadium report and let us know what the atmosphere looked like. I ain't never seen the playing surface at that stadium look that good as it did in the preseason.
Man, it was like when I went down there for my post game, it was like carpet. I mean, it was the best. Extended all the way to to the walls, so there's no more mud on the sidelines and rocks and none of that. Like they've really done it up, and that tells you a lot about the owner, because I don't know if I'll be doing all that knowing I got this monster stadium in the works, but they still are revamping and upgrading FedEx Field for the fan experience. So, and my better half, Janine Samuels, the in-game host, he's loving the sound, coming from the new speakers.
And that's a real thing. That sound used to sound awful.
Incredible. The new Jumbotron, everything, man. They've really, they didn't have to do that. They could have just let this thing fall apart and then they move in 5 years, but they're not doing that. So that goes to show you really just how great the organization's treating you, the fans, and us in the media. So that's why I say, man, when people kept coming at me, Rio, you pro team, hell yeah, I am. I'm pro team, because guess what? Terry's part of that team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that the team is pro y'all finally. They actually treat y'all like y'all deserve to be treated for giving us nonstop coverage of this team. If you're available during the 12-hour at the stadium, let me know, and you could come in for a couple minutes and just set the scene and let us know what that atmosphere is hitting like on Sunday. Per usual, man.
I'll have to step out the press box to do that, but done. I will do that for sure.
Hell yeah, man. Lake Lewis Jr. Make sure y'all follow our guy up. Please sub up his YouTube channel. I'm going to let him out of here, and this is going to be me yapping with y'all. Until next time, of course, man, always appreciate you coming on, my brother.
All right, fam. Good job. Keep it up, brother.
Yes, sir. Let's go. It's in season time. Let's get it, man. Lake Lewis Jr. per usual, but before we keep this thing going, because I'm going to yap with y'all for a little bit. We be yapping. It's regular season Radio Rio yap mode right now. Let's hear another word from this year's sponsor, and that is Sleeper.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code RIO91. Call your shot on Sleeper.
The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Football has never been more exciting than it is right now with players like Jayden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Jamar Chase. Pick on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times payout. Sleeper is the #1 fantasy app in the world. Get your picks right and you could win big using promo code RIO91. That's RIO91, and you'll get up to a $100 match bonus on your first deposit. Terms and conditions may apply. Rio91 on the Sleeper app. We are moving up in the world and leveling up this YouTube channel in the 2025 and beyond. Rio91 on Sleeper. When we go live for our hate watch party of the Dallas Cowboys at Philadelphia Eagles Thursday, we're going to come together as a group. We're going to put our thinking caps on, and we're going to put together a winning ass pick lineup. I cannot wait to do that with you guys. Shout out to Sleeper again. Rio91 is the promo code for Sleeper going forward. Jared Talks Football said, which Super Bowl era jersey would look the best next to your Sean Taylor? You already know it's 5. We got 5 on it. You already know it's 5, man. MVP 5 season loading. JD Cinco, the man, the myth, the legend, our guy, Jayden Daniels. You can't go wrong with a 5 jersey, man. Big homie 10. Is depth talent a concern for a deep playoff run? No, unless we're considering losing 10 to 15 players. The core nucleus of the team and our core backups, I think, are good enough to do exactly what we need them to do. If we got to talk about losing 10 to 15 players, then the season's already cooked. And we have to, I don't even want to put the words in the air of mentioning names in impact players not being available, because your season is cooked if certain guys aren't out there anyway. Doesn't really concern me at the moment. But I seen Diana Rossini put us on the list as a pretender. I also seen ESPN predict us as the team most likely to surprisingly finish under 500. And strictly, my dear, I could give a damn. I do not care. But before we keep it pushing on the show, my guy Brandon at Jayden Daniels MVP, who keeps us abreast of all things Washington Commanders during the season, also a partner of Sleeper, he's doing a Super Bowl era giveaway on Elon's app, X, or if you know it by its government name, Twitter. He's giving away one jersey of your choice. It's going to be a Jayden jersey to a random fan. You just need to repost this on Twitter, follow him in the Sleeper NFL page, shout out Sleeper, and comment with the hashtag #RaiseHell. Winner will be selected randomly on Sunday, the day of Washington's opener versus the New York Giants. Make sure y'all lock in. Get y'all a free jersey from my guy Brandon. Shout out to him for always holding it down on the timeline. Also, the team just announced via its social media page on X that we are getting the season finale of Commander's Log. We are getting the final Commander's Log of the season tonight.
The energy and the expectations and all that.
Big Debo.
There for sure. The energy and the expectations and all that about this team is there for sure. The energy and the
Big Debo, man. Fat wear, bro. Like I said it in my last watch party. If Debo Samuel is fat, I aspire to be as obese as I used to be. Because the boy looked good. The boy's ready to get absolutely active. And we're getting our final Commander's Log of the 2025 offseason, baby. We've made it, everybody. We have officially made it to the 2025 regular season. We are 2 days away from hate watching on the channel. Make sure y'all pull up to that, bro, because we thrive in hatred over here. And when y'all, Debo definitely got the fresh shape up. He definitely got lined up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he gave Terry the new barber that he came with when he signed his contract. But we get to hate watch Dallas and Philly. Obviously, we hope they tie and no one wins the game, but somebody got to lose, so we get to shit and kick someone's back in on Thursday night. We're going to do a watch party for that. We're going to do a watch party for Chiefs and Chargers from Sao Paulo, Brazil on Friday. There's going to be a couple game previews on the channel over a couple days. We're in full regular season mode now, and keep Saturday available. You know, because word on the street is Commanders Kings, we may be doing a game day eve edition of Commanders Kings Live. So keep Saturday open for me, Lou, Rico, and Ed. Think of it like a rally, a game day eve rally. 'Twas the night before week 1, and all through the house, we was whooping some New York Giants all over the couch. I don't know, but we're going to do a night before the game live stream. We're going to don't expect that to be a regular thing, but the way schedules conflict this week, we're going to have to go through the weekend. So please bear with us on the Commanders Kings channel. We're going to keep it coming for y'all. It's going to be a quicker, more normal week next week. My guy Juan Gotti, what up, my guy? First of all, Juan Gotti was on the news recently being featured by Chad Ricardo, and now I saw him with the in-person at event Santana Mall / Fred Smoot interview. Keep running that shit up, man. 2025 is go time for us content creators. It's go time for us as fans, and it's go time in general for the team and everybody, man. Take it to another level in 2025. This is the best outlook we've ever had coming into a Washington season, Juan. So make sure you parlay your success with the teams going forward, because I expect big things coming in this 2025 season. But y'all think we signed Kendrick Bourne? Let me see what the latest I can find on Kendrick Bourne is. Let me pull up the latest we got on that. Let me see what they talk about on the Kendrick Bourne front. But I knew that once he was going to San Fran first, and they already had an offer on the table, that spelled out a lot of things to me. Pretty much, as long as Adam Peters don't offer like EBT to Kendrick Bourne, I don't see why he wouldn't sign here, man. We going places over here, man. We going places on this side. San Francisco, I'm not saying that San Francisco's title window is closed, but it's a lot closer to being cracked than it used to be, because that shit was wide open with no screen on the window. No screen, no AC unit on the window, or none of that. But it is definitely a lot closer to closed than it is being as wide as open as it used to be. Let's run this shit up in 2025. Juan, we'll definitely collab again in the next week or so. Shout out to Terry's new barber. Shout out to Debo's barber. All of that I got on screen right now. That's the latest we've got. Whenever that news comes out, I was hoping this news came out while we were on stream, but whenever news comes back, we'll get to it, man. We'll get to it. We'll do. But we here, man. We made it to the season, y'all. We made it to the season, y'all. I'm excited, bro. We got sponsor. We got SeatGeek and Sleeper holding it down for the boy. We're trying to take this to another level, man. My bold prediction for the game, and we're going to have this conversation quite a few times. I don't mind you giving me yours right now. What are your bold predictions for this Giants-Commanders game coming up on Sunday? My offensive bold prediction, I haven't dropped a defensive one. My offensive bold prediction so far is Deebo Samuel scored 2 touchdowns. Let me know what y'all think of that, and let me know what y'all's are. What are your offensive bold predictions? Deebo for 2 touchdowns sounds fire, bro. Go ahead and key on Terry all you want to. Go ahead and try to put Javon Holland shadowing over the top. Do whatever you got to do. But that demon Deebo is coming. He heard all of that bullshit y'all been talking about, all of the fat jokes. He synced all of it. And he don't care about none of it. I talked to Deebo on the phone the other day, by the way. I meant to tell you all this shit when it happened. Shout out to Chef Dre. Chef Dre called me with Deebo on the phone the other day. Deebo about to turn up, and Deebo wanted fans to know he may not bring out the boombox coming out the tunnel here, but he got some dope shit planned for 2025 and beyond. That was a cool ass phone call. Chef Dre hit me up out of nowhere. Hey, yo, I got Deebo with me right now. What's good, fam? I was like, oh shit. The Deebo Samuel. What up, Deebo? And of course, Deebo was the one responsible for them walking out to Young Boy out the locker room last week. But so offensive bold prediction is Deebo for 2 touchdowns. Lake's defensive bold prediction was Trey Amos catching his first career interception on Sunday. What are your bold predictions for Sunday afternoon? I need a defensive one now. Let me think. Let me crystal ball it real quick. I'm gonna put together some fire, man. JTF, what up? Can't wait to see you. As big as Perno and Tom Grossi. Lord willing, man. Lord willing it comes, man. I'm gonna push this content out and try to parlay as much as my channel's success with the success of the team as we rise to meteoric levels starting in 2024 and beyond. But Tom Grossi is, as of right now, knock on wood, he's slated to be my guest next week for the Packers preview. We got a short week. We have a quick turnaround. Do not go to sleep or do not blink too long after this Giants game finishes on Sunday, because we got to get right back to the shits. Man. So we go from Sunday to a short week, and we got Micah Parsons, who they got taking epidural injections to get on the field. Maybe we get snap count limited Micah Parsons in week 2, but I don't really want to talk about week 2 too much longer because we have a game to play. You know how it is when the NFC East clashes when we play the New York Giants. You know what's funny, though? You know what's funny about the New York Giants? These New York Giants fans are talking crazy. They're talking reckless as hell. God bless what type of dopamine and acid rush preseason gave them boys, man. I don't know what them boys are on right now in New York, but their fans are talking greasy. I saw my boy TP on the show yesterday talking crazy about us, and I was like, damn, they're him and Bad Dog and company. Louis T's doing the Super Friends tonight. Make sure y'all tune into that. I'll be on NFC East Roundtable on Roundtable Sports Network at 6:00 tonight. You're gonna see me everywhere. It's that time of year where I am all over the place. It ain't gonna be hard to find me. Trust. We are JD Cinco, 5 days away from the start of the 2025 regular season for our Washington Commanders. And I'm excited to take in another season with y'all. You know, last year was fun, bro. Like toasting the last year, that shit almost got me emotional. Y'all remember how much fun we had on this damn channel last year? Do y'all remember the JD5 Pepsi Zero Sugar Rookie of the Week Invitational? We did it every week. We had a damn stream to commemorate Jayden winning Rookie of the Week every week. You know how fun it was? It was a new award. He got a Hemi this week, a Hemi award. He got FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Week. He won Rookie of the Week every fucking week, it felt like, and he set the record for it. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. It was bananas all last year, but we can throw that shit in the rear view. We got bigger fish to fry. We don't need to run around with underdog monikers. We don't need to run around acting like we're new to this. We're true to this now, and we need to act like it as fans, man. That PTSD, we need to set that shit aside, and we're allowed to look in our new life. Don't go into a new relationship carrying your past trauma with you. Stop trauma bonding with Dan Snyder and move into your forever home with a much better organization, man. This organization got a facelift from top to bottom, y'all. Not the same person at all. We got the Extendo BBL as an organization, man. Kyle W., my guy, bold prediction. Quan Martin pick 6. Why not? Why not? We remember the pick 6 heard around the world from Ford Field. No one heard it as loud as they did with Woodward Sports. Shout out to my guys over there in Detroit. I like how you're thinking. I like how you're thinking. My guy Juan Gade said, love 5, but that 0 Super Bowl era is mine. Okay, the Mikey, the Frozone. The Frozone, hey man, that's like 5's brother right there. So I'm not mad at the 0. Just looks clean. It just looks so aesthetically pleasing on a jersey. So I'm not mad at you for copping the 0. I think 5 is the only player I would like with confidence buy a jersey for. But let me see some of those bold predictions for Sunday. Disrespect will be addressed. Hashtag raise hell. Jay, let them know. Let them know. And we're here for all smoke. We're here. We're not running from no smoke. We're not ducking any fades. And we're here to prove that we are here to stay. We are not some feel-good story for one season, some one-hit wonder. We're not trying to be Milli Vanilli. We're not trying to be some Fugazi team. Like, you know what the cutest juxtaposition I've seen is? I've seen Giants fans in 4K step up to microphones and cameras and say, this is the same thing we did back in 2022 when Dayball became the coach. Fam, Daniel Jones was your quarterback. So respectfully, not respectfully, please take several seats. Please take several seats. This is not the same as that at all. Dayball can coach. You don't really get an opportunity to see it because he's had a revolving door of ass at quarterback. But don't compare a playoff season where you beat the Vikings in the first round, a season where Daniel Jones started all 17 games and had less than 20 touchdowns on the season. Don't compare that to this, to Jayden. Don't compare that Kia Soul to my Lamborghini. Please don't do that. They do not compare, my friend. We don't believe you. We don't believe you. Don't compare Daniel Jones to Jayden. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? JR, what up, what up, what up? Appreciate you for the $4.99. I bought 2 JD5 jerseys for me and my little bro. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, I know them Super Bowl era jerseys are hitting like Reagan era crack. I know they are selling. I know they have a very soft shipping date, which is like late October. But the original plan I had been told was that they will all be shipped out by the time, if you order it in a timely basis, by the first time the team wears them. They want the stadium full of them on November 2nd. The first time we wear the Super Bowl era threads when the Seattle Seahawks come to town on Sunday Night Football, which is the same day that we will honor the greatest receiver in franchise history, James Arthur Monk. Long time coming for that one, by the way. But let's get back to some of these bold predictions in the chat. Hey, Rio, the Soul was my first car at 18. Lasted me 8 good years. That's a good car, man. That's a good car. Shout out to the Kia hamsters. I used to love the commercial. My son had a little baby mini Kia Soul, by the way. My best friend and my guardian's kid back in high school, he had a Kia Soul, so we had a Kia Soul. We was pulling up to Freedom Woodbridge, Virginia, looking like the Kia hamsters ourselves, bumping Kid Cudi and shit back in 2009, 2010. But there's a large difference between a Lamborghini and a Kia Soul. Don't compare that little weak-ass season to what we did last year, because there are levels to this shit. And nah. Shout out to Kia Souls, though. You were there for the crack, too? I was not there for the crack, fortunately, man. What's the deal with Andrew Thomas? When I get these Giants fans on, we're going to grill them about Neighbors and Thomas, because if either of them is not on the field, you better pray for them boys. You better pray for them boys. It's finna be Dexter Lawrence versus the world versus us. Last year, respect to the Bears. 3 seconds later, F the Bears! F the Bears! Yo, I can't wait to make some more moments with y'all this year, man. I finally got my mic gain interface situation right. So when I start screaming and going crazy, the mic's going to actually pick up the feed. We actually got the decibels correctly now. So I'm trying to step this up from being novice bootleg content creator. We're trying to step the production up a little bit. Camera quality needs to get back to last year's. You know, I had a manufacturer's defect and an issue with Razer. By the way, Razer, my Razer Kia Ultra Pro webcam, we had a manufacturer's defect back in like June. We are now in September, and they have not sent me a new camera yet. So not a fan. Probably the last time I purchased from that company, but moving on. My boy Scotty, shout out to Woodbridge in the building. Bill TD run on his first case. Scotty got Bill Krosky Merritt moving like 2006 Clinton Portis. I think it was 2006, 2005 or 2006, or was it 2004? I don't know. It was one of those years. I think it was 2004. Clinton Portis' first carry as a Washington Redskin, 64 yards to the crib on a counter tray. Joe Gibbs is back. I remember that. You got Bill moving like CP? Like CP, I love it. I love it, man. I would love that. That'd be fire. And also, it would be dope because we could put to bed all these Bill. Hey, I don't know how much this would get you in a parlay, but a Luke and Bill touchdown sound like it could make you a rich man, because Luke has not seen pay dirt yet. A Luke getting stopped at the 1 yard line catch, I'd play that joint in a heartbeat. Rio gonna get a call in Connecticut. Chill. 3 TDs from JD, Debo, and Lane. I got Jayden scoring 3 touchdowns. I don't care what combination it is as far as passing or rushing. I will promise you this. I will Charles Barkley guarantee something that ain't happening in 2025. And that's no Jayden passing touchdowns for the first 2 weeks of the season. As good a season as Jayden and Terry had in 2024, Jayden had 0 passing touchdowns the first 2 weeks of the season. Terry McLaurin did nothing but run cardio the first 2 weeks of the season last year. Neither of those two things are going to happen this year. So I can bank that. I can't bank on the result of the game, but I can definitely bank on the fact that we are not starting the year as slow offensively as we did last year. Jayden puts in too much goddamn work for that. That's not happening. If you think that's what's going to, if you think you're getting the lab rat experimental version of Washington's offense on Sunday afternoon, y'all better pray for them boys, because that is not at all what is taking place. Let me get on to the next one. My boy VA Cracker one more time, who said he was there for the crack. I hope you didn't dabble. We gave up a Hall of Famer for one run. Yep. No, but Portis was a good Redskin. But you don't give up a lot. That trade was wicked. That trade was crazy. You don't give up a first ballot Hall of Fame lockdown corner, one of the best players in NFL history, for a running back. Like, that's absurd, man. That is absurd. But if you need tickets for the 2025 season, you already know where to go. You've heard it already. Rio10 is the promo code. Rio10 for 10% off at SeatGeek. Be right back. I've been looking to find the best deal on Washington Commanders tickets for the 2025 season. which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sporting events, festivals, and more. The NFL is right around the corner and MLB is in full swing. I love using SeatGeek. Recently used it, lock in my training camp tickets. Most notably, I was at the Grand National Tour with my son, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA at Northwest Stadium. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 through 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And you know I had to come through for y'all using promo code RIO10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code RIO10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically sent to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring this video. Shout out to Sleeper. Shout out to SeatGeek. I promise y'all I won't be running any more ads today. I promise y'all no more ads on my end of things, 2 apiece. We've been here for almost 2 hours. It is Tuesday afternoon, September 2nd, and we're getting an early start to the NFL season. Labor Day and immediately into the opener and into the first Friday of the season with Chargers, Chiefs, and Sunday afternoon, we got a full slate. I am going live on the channel starting at about noon, 12:15 or so, and we're going live the entire day. We're going through the Washington Giants game. We're going to post-game that and react to Rio Red Zone of everything that's happening at the 4 o'clock window, and we're going to stay live through the Ravens-Bills game. It's going to be a lituation. I'm going to have my kiddos with me for most of the day, and we're going to enjoy a day of NFL football taking over, bro. When that fall air start hitting and football is on the television, the world is in a better place. Door Gunner, my guy. Russ's old lady took most of his manhood, but we finished the job on Sunday. JD5 Super Bowl era jersey on order. I need to get a Bates jersey of some kind. A John Bates? That's a tricky jersey. That's interesting. I wonder if you got to get that customized or if they got that on the team store. No disrespect to John. John got his bag this offseason and been moving different. Y'all said his lady took his manhood. Shit, that shit comes a part of marriage for real, for real. Marriage, it take a little bit. It take a little bit of it, man. It take a little bit of it for real, man. But we got to finish off the job. You know what would be really funny? It would be really cool if we could go right into making them switch quarterback. I know people, because of how bad we used to be against rookie quarterback, people are terrified over the notion of seeing Jackson Dart on Sunday. Bring his rookie ass out here, bro. This is year 2 Joe Whitt Jr. defense. We're still a little scarred by what we were last year, but we have not really seen this year's iteration of our defense yet. We've only seen it in training camp. So I feel confident that you're going to see a rise in turnovers this year. I can't promise you they're going to be some top 10 defense. I don't think we need to be. We're the 12th or 13th best defense in the league, but we're top 10 in forcing turnover. That's all we need to be. So just crystal ball with me for a second. Just imagine a world where Jayden Daniels has a defense that is feeding him amazing field position, that is feeding him the ball back, that is giving him a chance to go score a touchdown and get the ball right back out there in scoring position again. A world in which we don't have to sweat on 3rd and 15 that we're going to give up some bullshit because we got a French Canadian and a Make-A-Wish kid at cornerback and a paid actor named Michael Davis. Michael Davis versus the Atlanta Falcons last year may be the most unserious defensive back I've ever seen on the football field. His posture, his body movement. I don't even like the way he wore the uniform. He looked like a goddamn Rydell ad, but like the outtakes, not even the ones that made the commercial. He looked like the guys that tried out for the commercial, stood in line, didn't get called back to play a character on the final shot. That was a very unserious football player last year. This ain't that. This is not that. I promise you that. It wasn't at all. Bro, I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of bad cornerback play here in DC. At least Benjamin St. Juice, had decent technique. I know y'all gonna kill me for that, but listen, St. Booty Juice had decent technique, and he usually was in the right place, but he never got his head around. He was always getting caught on, and most of his biggest faux pas happened on big plays. Like the play that's going to run in my mind forever, because we had no business losing to Russ in the Steelers last year, is him letting Mike Williams get off the couch, freshly traded. You're standing flat-footed 10 yards down the field, and you let the slowest Bama on the other team take you vertically on 3rd and long. All Russ got left in his tool bag is the moon ball. That's the one thing you can't let Russell Wilson do on 3rd and long, is throw that damn moon ball. And what did old Benny St. Booty Juice, the French Canadian, do? He's standing flat-footed. He's standing on his damn Achilles at the sticks, watching slow, washed, rinsed, tumbled, dried, and injured Mike Williams run naked down the sideline to put a dagger in us in the 4th quarter of a game. 10-point lead gone. And y'all know how the rest of that game played out. But that ain't who we are anymore. That ain't who we are anymore. And we're moving past that. Yo, Michael Davis, bro. Okay, yes, that was bad technique, but that's one example. For the most part, he had good technique. He was just terrible. He was just terrible. Oh, and also, let's give a hand for Emmanuel Forbes. I heard Emmanuel Forbes cracked the starting lineup for the Los Angeles Rams. Shout out to Emmanuel Forbes, bro. Emmanuel Forbes has the build of the poster child for Ozempic, but he never needed it. You know, he was born this way. Never needed the Ozempic. Natural frame. But shout out to Forbes for turning a new leaf. Benjamin St. Juice has got right back to being ass over there for the Chargers. And if he's on the football field week 5 when we go up to LA, we better target his ass the entire freaking game. Easily, man. But shout out to Forbes, man. I'm going to say this now. 15-2. We have the fastest. Oh, my God. Oh, I think our offense is going to be must-see television. I think our offense is going to be must-see television, man. And we got a better playing surface now. We actually got that carpeted looking shit going on. I ain't never seen the logos, and I ain't never seen the field lines with so much vivid clarity at Northwest FedEx Field. None of that ever before. I think our offense is going to be absolutely insane. We need to be shooting for the number 1 seed. Let's not be afraid to shoot high. We are trying to win the conference. We're trying to win the division. The road to the Super Bowl is through Philadelphia. How about we not? How about we not do that? How about we not take our chances of going back to Philly in the playoffs next year? You know, it'd be cool bringing them down to Landover, hosting a damn playoff game in the divisional round and, dare I say, championship round. Let's go out there and control our own destiny and make them come to us. Luke McCaffrey gets his first touchdown against the Giants. Yes, I'm delusional. Fingers crossed. That would be so good for team morale. What y'all think Luke giving him in the end zone if he score? I think he's just going to run the ball to the ref. He may do some weird shit where he like jumps up awkwardly and doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what to do with his hands. You know, like when you watch a selfie full of high school students or like high school players and you see the dudes mobbed up in the video and the little white boy don't know what to do with his hand. That's going to be Luke if he scored a touchdown. I'm manifesting a touchdown for Luke McCaffrey on Sunday. Since Debo got 2, Luke, you can have the other one, bro. Terry is going to have the yards. We're not tripping. He'll make up for the touchdowns later. Let's give Luke McCaffrey a touchdown on Sunday, y'all. I want to call you Luke again. I don't want to call you Lucas McCaffrey the whole year, man. You got to dispel the Nepo baby tropes. You got to break free of that shit, man. Show us again. That's all I'm saying. Do it again. Yeah, it ain't time for talk. I've been saying all offseason we need to lock that number 1 seed in. Oh, my God. With that schedule, we win that many games. Oh, my God. Our players are going to have endorsements for days. Lane for Offensive Rookie of the Year. That would be crazy. Obviously, Cam Ward has the easiest shot in road to Offensive Rookie of the Year, considering he's starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. But it would be dope if what if Jalen Lane come in like Terry? What if Jalen Lane come in like Terry with the deep ball touchdown, which should have been 2 in his first game, like Terry versus the Eagles did that year? I like what you cooking up, A. Russ. I like what you cooking up, man. Man. Give me 1 second. I'm excited, bro. Let me see some more bold predictions in the chat. My man Dom. What up, Dom? Luke spiking the ball like a lineman. It's gonna be the equivalent to like when a big boy gets the ball, like when Trent Scott Trent Scott was hitting that shit. He was hitting a little Omega Psi celebration. He hit the Q shit. Luke spiking the ball like a lineman. I could definitely see that. You know, that big boy, beefy spike, the Gronk spike. I could definitely see Luke McCaffrey doing that. No drip to it, but I just want to see him get in the end zone, man. He gonna do the name. Can you imagine Luke hitting the name? Luke out here hitting this shit. Hey. He'd be hitting the nay. Definitely no 2 nays on it. What about Emmanuel Forbes, sir? He's doing all right there in LA, man. Good for him, man. Good for him. From Make-A-Wish to starting in the league, man. Shout out to him. Too many people piling on Luke this offseason. I'm hoping for Luke to. It would be so good for fan morale and team morale because I don't be trying to hate on Luke. I just have no expectations for the guy. I don't think he's really that talented, but if we can get anything out of him, I'm with it. I definitely think we're going to sign Kendrick Bourne today, though. Luke will do the Dougie, like what? This is current, right? The Dougie. Yeah, he definitely would think it was current. His Dougie probably not. He would definitely he would do the Douglas. He would do the Douglas. He would definitely not be hitting any type of Dougie. The Douglas, for sure. That shit would be proper as shit. Lane has a Terry type rookie year. They not losing again. Yeah. You put that with Debo and Terry, Lord. If Luke show up this year, Adam Cook, let Jayden Daniels first touchdown of the season be the Trent Scott like the Bengals game. That's going to be the dopest. After Jayden's getting a gold jacket one day, that's going to be like the dopest Jeopardy trivia question. In his illustrious career as Washington Commanders quarterback, who was Jayden Daniels' first touchdown pass thrown to on Monday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals? It was his first touchdown 3 weeks into the season. Freaking Trent Scott. It's going to be a fire trivia question one day. But, man, it's going to be fun, man. This is going to be a fun one for sure. I cannot wait for Sunday. I cannot wait for this season. I cannot wait to party with y'all during this season, man. What up, Club 100 TV? I don't understand why some people have us losing to the Chargers and Chiefs. I'm not scared of them. Nobody. When will you do season predictions, Rio? Probably Friday. Friday, as I currently speak, I don't have anything stream-wise. We can do our season predictions because y'all didn't really see our season predictions because we had a Temu live stream from the Commanders Kings live event. I'm going to have to recollect some of the shit I was going for, but I think for the most part, I know we can do a season prediction. We can do it as a family. We can live stream it on the channel and we can go game by game and make our picks. And we're going to do Friday. Call it Friday. Friday afternoon. Let's do it. Friday afternoon. Let's do it, man. Hey, Luke hitting the Douglas on him. Luke hitting the Douglas. No Dougie. Luke gonna do the old cabbage patch. Bold offensive prediction. Bill gets 2 tutties. Bold defensive prediction. Luvu, Armstrong, and Jacob Martin. I was about to say Jartavius Martin. Jacob Martin gets a sack. Jacob Martin, when you don't mention Von Miller, has the best get off / bend in the building right now. And some of the best bend I've seen in this organization for quite some time. I'm not going to hold you. I'd like the division to go 0 for 18. I wish they could. But they got to play each other, so somebody got to win. Rio, if you do not hit 25,000 subscribers by the end of the season, you should have to watch the entire Temu Commanders King stream. I tried to put that shit on the TV. I totally understand how mad y'all was. I didn't understand how bad it was. We sounded like disabled chipmunks, bro. None of the sound was on time. That shit was nuts, bro. That shit was nuts, man. Definitely fired the sound guy. Just kidding, man. Just kidding. He did his best, but it was definitely on them and not us. But anywho, Anywho, Tennessee ain't doing nothing, fam. Cam Ward won't be in that conversation. I mean, if Cam Ward has a good season, they can be as trash as they want to. Rookie of the Year and MVP, they're kind of quarterback awards if a quarterback do anything. The stream drank more than Luke is going to be inactive. 6 players got to sit. I don't see Luke being inactive. Like, let's say we sign Kendrick Bourne. They're not going to dress Kendrick Bourne and sit Luke when Kendrick Bourne just got here and don't know the offense. Luke's not going to be inactive, y'all. What up, man? What's going on with you, man? We here. We've been here for 2 hours and 10 minutes on a Tuesday afternoon. We are JD 5 days away from the regular season. The team is back out there practicing. Yo, Luke not hitting the Dougie. If he scores, he's hitting the Douglas, y'all. He gonna hit the sprinkler. He gonna hit him with the hit him with the love don't cost a thing. Terry got to bring that joint back, by the way. He got to bring the little Nick Cannon love don't cost a thing celebration back because that shit was fire. Uncle Jay, what up, Uncle Jay? I'm not giving any positives to old 25. F that. Oh, and that's on brand. Uncle Jay, y'all talk about drinking at that boy. Uncle Jay was turned up at the Commanders Kings live event. That poor lady next to him, I know she couldn't sleep at night because that boy was wilding in the front row. Shout out to Uncle Jay, man. And I feel you. F the French Canadian. I feel you, bro. I feel you. He caused us a lot of turmoil here, man. He caused us a lot of bad nights here as Commanders fans. So please be on the field when we play the Chargers. Luke needs to do the worm. Oh, he definitely looked like he'll hit the worm. He looked like Easy Ed. His dad taught him how to do that shit. That's crazy. Him and Christian and Luke's swagger is totally different. Luke going to hit the kid and play joint with JD5 if he get the touchdown. That would be clean. That'd be clean. Luke is definitely doing the lawnmower. The lawnmower. Yeah, that joint revving it up. The chainsaw. This nigga the blandest celebrate. But the most important thing is we want Luke out there to be able to do one of these bland ass celebrations. You know, I'll do it with him, bro. I'll do that. Whatever he do in the end zone, I'll do it on stream because that's how badly I'm manifesting anything positive from Luke McCaffrey, aka Lucas, because we just want to see the guy do it, man. Yo, you see the keynotes flip, bro? I did not. Yeah, he's injury prone, but the thing is, we don't have to rely on him to be the number 1, 2, or 3 here. You know, he is Noah Brown insurance. One of them got to make it through the season. You know what I'm saying? And he's a veteran, and he started before. Lane doing the Michael Jackson moonwalk, that would be clean. The Humpty Hump. What up? What up, my guy? What up, my guy? Day one gang right there. One of my mods, my brother Derek. What's good with you, man? What's good with you, man? We 5 days away from the start of the season, y'all. We 5 days away from the start of the season, and we are 2 hours into it. We had Lake Lewis on the stream for about an hour and a half. They said all this talk for him to hand the ball off to, yeah, he's definitely going to hand it off to the ref. And then Jayden's going to stalk the ref until he gives him the football because he's going to make sure brother Lucas gets his first touchdown ball. I need to see Amos with a pick 6 this year. I need to see pick 6 in general. Like, my main thing with the defense is what Dan Quinn and Joe Whitt Jr. did with that Dallas defense in years 2 and 3. Like, the first year, they took a bad unit and they had some moving parts and it was a learning curve. Year 2, they started making sure that ball got turned over, bro. If the defense don't do anything better in 2025, I just needed to turn the ball over, bro. And when I say that, I mean we punched the ball out and actually recovered the fumble. I want to stop having trauma from watching this team for 25 years force fumbles and not recover them shits. It drives me insane. Watching fumbles sitting on the ground with burgundy jerseys surrounding it and one player from the other team popping up in the middle of the pile and recovering the fumble. I am so sick of that shit. Please, 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 in 2025, Let's like nice things. Let's enjoy nice things. Let's keep nice things with us, because if you give our quarterback the ball with a short field, if you give him the ball after he just scored, good night. Throw the deuces up and pray for whoever we're playing against, because Jayden Daniels given more opportunities is unfuckwithable. He's unfuckwithable at this point. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping Jayden with a defense. Like, we have these conversations about rookie quarterbacks who made it to the conference championship game. All of them had top 3, 4, 5 defenses in the league. We had a middle of the pack defense and the 20th best roster in the NFL, and we still got there. That's why I laugh at all these comments about us being fluke from last year. This kid carried a team that wasn't ready to places that it hadn't seen in 3 decades. If you give him a defense that rewards him back, come on, man. Versus the Detroit Lions in the divisional round of the playoffs. Look what happened when we started forcing turnover. Everybody's talking about all the injuries that the Lions had on defense. F that. Their quarterback that was 15th on the top 100 list turned the ball over 4 times. And on top of that, dumbass Ben Johnson has the stupidest person on the team attempting passes in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. You got the most reckless individual, the worst decision maker on the team, Mr. Parlay Poppy himself, Jameson Williams, throwing passes in the fourth quarter of the divisional round. We forced 5 turnovers. I don't want to hear shit about the injuries on defense. Them injuries did not matter when we were 10.5-point underdogs and Woodward Sports was talking to me like I was the Emmanuel Forbes of NFL content creation. So when Quan Martin caught that pick 6 in that game, when Dorrance Armstrong forced the fumble on Jared Goff in that game, what did Jayden do when he got the ball? He got right to it. Right to it, bro. All foot on the gas, no brakes. And when this offense is humming, defenses cannot, I don't care what players they were missing in that game. When this offense is humming, who's stopping it? Who's stopping this offense once it gets going? Teams cannot handle the pace in which we play. The 4-down territory every time, no matter where we're lined up on the field. Defenses are huffing and puffing like Eddie Goldman when our offense gets to going. Man, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready for the season, bro. I'm in season mode now. And we talking that I'm not afraid of nobody, man. JQ, appreciate you for 6 months of channel membership and for rocking with the Ramblers for sure. I'm going to the Las Vegas game. I'm from Cali. Any advice? I'll be at that game too. Me and Lil Rio will be at that one, man. Pull up on me if you see me. But my best advice, I don't know which lot you're parking in. Get there very early and make a whole day of it, man. I'll probably be up there like 9, 10 a.m. I want to show my son the tailgate experience. I'll probably pull up to the red zone lot. I think it's still called the red zone. All the lots are something different now, which is the one right behind where the players lot is. But get yourself a full day. If you try to eat, try to get food and beverage during the tailgate. Do not put yourself in a position where you have to get food during the game or drinks. Try to get your bathroom breaks out of the way beforehand. You know, walk around the stadium. Look at some of the new stuff they got going on. Go to the Bud Light Pavilions and the Legends Plaza, which is an outside but in the stadium experience where they're going to have live go-go bands playing. They're going to probably be doing some type of dope giveaway or activation for the game. It's gonna be a good time, man. I would recommend typically staying in the National Harbor or something, but maybe find somewhere in Bowie, because the National Harbor is jam-packed during game weekends, and I believe that's the team hotel sometimes somewhere out there. So somewhere out in Bowie, the Bowie area, is where I would suggest you stay. But try to make a whole day out of it. Get out there early and go tailgate and go join Burgundy and Gold Nation out there, man. The Raiders game gonna be lit, man. Rio was smoking mad cigarettes against the Detroit. Hey, man. I was stressed out. We don't smoke cigarettes over here. That is disgusting. But airport recommendations. I'm probably the last person to ask. I know the airport that I prefer the most of the three is Dulles International. I know the most conveniently priced airport of the three is BWI. My least favorite airport of the three is the cheapest one, and sometimes your interests just got to collide with, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to go to the weakest airport because it's the cheapest. BWI be cheap as shit, bro. So, you know, they said don't go alone to the game. Yeah, Raiders fans, they be wilding a little bit, but we not worried about nothing like that, man. I'm gonna have my boy Graf on the channel that week from the OLV Raiders Network. If they're doing all that at Northwest RFK, oh my God, RFK 2.0. We are a few weeks away from, I think, getting our first 3D renderings and blueprints of what the new stadium's going to look like. Once they get these final yeses coming up in a couple weeks, we're going to do movie time on the channel, and we're all going to sit around, deep dive. We're going to do a film breakdown of the damn video. A whole ass film breakdown. That's just going to be fun, man. That joint's going to be really fun. Whew, I'm excited, man. You live in Landover? Pfft, lucky, convenient. Madrid game's gonna be lit. We're doing a watch party at 8:30 a.m. for the Madrid game. I'm gonna go from our game that day, and I'm gonna go through the 1 o'clock segment. Can't do the 4 o'clock window because I'll be going to see Leon Thomas up at the Fillmore that night with my homie Ash. Me and Ashley gonna go see Leon Thomas. That's gonna be a good time. What up, what up, what up? Just wanted to say thank you for your SeatGeek promo code. I was finally able to get my Commanders versus Chiefs ticket. I can't wait for that game, JD5. Yeah, you get to go see the GOAT versus the baby GOAT. You know, the baby GOAT versus the current GOAT on Monday Night Football. The promo code is Rio10. It is no longer Rio for SeatGeek. It is now Rio10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. I would run the ad right now. I already ran it twice. I ain't going to do it again just yet. Predictions for Ali Cahoe. I think he starts the season inactive, and that's not a knock or a slight on him. You got to keep about 6 players to not dress. He's definitely going to be one of them because how many linebackers are we keeping on the active roster? Like, really? How do I feel about us, Jabril Peppers? I think we're straight at the safety position, but if they want to bring in an athletic freak to add to the room, shout out to Ed and Rico, by the way, I wouldn't be against it, but I don't really see it. I don't really see a need for him right now. Driving up from Columbia, South Carolina to the Raiders game, putting an order in for New Jersey. What jersey you getting, man? Safety room is pretty deep, right? I don't really see us particularly needing a safety at this current juncture, but still no news on the Kendrick Bourne front. We're going to wrap this one up in a little bit, but still nothing yet. Just in case you missed it, the Super Bowl era jerseys are officially able to be ordered. They are in some Dick's stores on site, in store, and the team site has them to order. The men's size, I believe they're not shipping until late October, but you should have them by the first time we wear them versus the Seattle Seahawks. Do we even need Kendrick Bourne? Need is aggressive. I won't say we need him, but we can definitely round out our receiver room with an actually productive receiver that we've actually seen it before and with some history with the current GM. The GOAT finna put in work, yes, sir. The new JD5 Classic from Dix.com Super Bowl era, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Them things. Let's make that jersey the new Yankee hat, man. And y'all make sure y'all smash the like button up. We're about to wrap this one up. We've been here for 2 hours and 22 minutes. I spent 90 minutes or so previewing week 1 of the NFL season. We talked about each position group and where we got better, where we possibly declined, something like that. But, that is a great point. The whole show, nobody mentioned the safety blanket, Zach Ertz. That's the one position I forgot about when we talked about the offensive side because I'm so confident in the tight end room. I need to know what we haven't been sending, but I am so confident in old man Ertz on his Benjamin Button turn back the clock shit, and with John Bates as possibly the best inline blocking tight end in the league. I'm so confident about that room, I don't need to mention it. Colson Yankov's probably going to be another player that's inactive on Sunday. Him and Ali Cahill, they just don't make when we crunch the numbers for the players we need to dress and activate and stuff, I don't see them being on it this week. But I'm good with the tight end room. As long as we can get another full season out of old man Ertz, I'm praying for it, fingers crossed for it. We good to go over there. This season is going to be too much fun. Yeah. It's going to be bad. Just expect all expectations for entering and exiting the stadium, especially week 1. Week 1 is the lab rat of the season. It's experimental. It's where all of the stadium employees, they get all their off-season jitters out of the way. Get there as early as possible. Oh my God, Kenny. Thank you. This is a good closing point as we get out of here this week. Phenomenal closing point. I need us to put a damn C on Jayden Daniels' jersey. If you want to do honorary captains for 2 or 3 guys a week, sure. Bobby Wagner, Terry McLaurin, Jayden Daniels need to have a fucking C on their jersey. Stop playing games with it. We do not need to be doing that year 1 rebuild ass bullshit over here, bro. This is not little league football. Sir, I need to see a C on Jayden jersey naked as hell without a C on it. I need a C on this jersey every week. Come on, man. What up, Mental Fortitude? You can always watch it on the playback. You can always watch. Thank you, Kenny, for that, because that shit means something to me. Jayden jersey better not have a C on that joint, bro. I need him, Bobby, and Terry with a C on it, and you could pick the Sheldon Days of the world to get their honoraries, captains, patches, or whenever someone's playing their former team or something like that. Y'all can do that with a couple guys a week. Can we just pick 6 captains and call it a day? Everybody told me that it's staying that way. Everyone told me that it's staying that way. I hope they're wrong, because I'm cool. Yep. What up, Dubs family? Yeah, the Super Bowl jersey eras are available for pre-order and preschool and certain youth sizes. They're shipping right now. Men's and women's sizes, they're shipping in October. We're going to wrap this one up today. Once again, I want to thank my sponsors for this stream and all videos this season. Sleeper, the best fantasy app in the world. I cannot wait to make picks with y'all Thursday night prior to the Eagles-Cowboys game. And thank you to SeatGeek. Rio 10 is the promo code for any tickets you need. Concert, game of any sport. Rio 10 is the promo. Look in the description and in the comments after this video and this stream concludes for all of that good stuff. That's all I got for right now. We are in full-time regular season mode. When the Kendrick Bourne signing comes out, expect a video on the channel, probably pre-recorded and not streamed, and expect a lot of long-ass streams like this during the season. Appreciate every single one of y'all. The next goal on the channel is 25,000 subscribers. Until next time, Commander Rio is out.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code RIO91. Call your shot.